Good morning, friends. Good morning. I'm just checking out the chat real quick. Hi, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm just, okay, there we go. Good. Making sure that I can see what you guys are seeing. Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. How is everybody today? Lots of chat going on in the chat. Looks like Jackie's off to an adult. You got to be careful with that. An adult Easter egg hunt. Then where did that come from? I've just lost a couple things. That could lead to a lot of questions, like an adult Easter egg party. But it sounds like nothing, nothing crazy, right, Jackie? That sounds fun. All right, somehow I lost a couple stickers here from two of my lists. So I am going to, we'll just add them right here. Later, I'll be like, what in the world? Why did I put those stickers there? I've got to figure out where those came from. Okay, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Happy day before Easter. It's a good day, right? It is a little bit overcast outside as I look out the window. Nick, my husband, is golfing, so it's that time of year. It will be this time of year now. Oh my gosh, probably until, don't mind me, I'll just fall over. Oh my gosh, I don't know, September, October. It's fair weather. It is supposed to rain later today, but right now I think it's okay. So I think temperature this morning, about 50 degrees maybe. So we may see him pop in sometimes when he's golfing in the middle of, in between holes. He'll pop in and say hi to you guys. So we'll see there. Anne from sunny Ontario. Hi, Pam. Good morning, Carol and Cindy. Shelley from Illinois. Terry. Hi, Terry from Colorado. Cindy from Finger, Tennessee. Ooh, Cindy. I don't know where Finger is in relation to Nashville, but we were in Nashville last weekend. Nick and I were. Pretty in LA, Sarah said. A little chilly, clear. Ooh, it's nice, especially this early in the morning, right? Sarah, for it to be clear. Usually you have a lot of the, the June gloom? No, it's not June. Wow. It's not June, it's April. The mist, whatever it is from the ocean that sometimes takes a while to dissipate. Wow. Always blonde here, you guys. You always have that to look forward to, is always the blonde. Anyhow, Terry's supposed to have beautiful weather tomorrow. Yep, Terry, I think so. Jackie's going to Nashville in May. We had a wonderful time. Lots of fun. Crazy city. Oh my gosh. Wow. But we had a good time. Kari. Hi, Kari. Kari from Kitchener, Ontario. How are you feeling? I think that's the same Kari, right? How are you feeling, Kari? I hope okay. Well, no, I don't hope okay. I hope better than okay, right? You know what I mean? Oh, Sue just got her second shingle shot. For a lot of us that we're in that time of life, it's either shingle shots or it is your own personal summer 24/7, like me, when you're in the middle of the menopause. It seems to take, golly, forever and 28 years, right? But we do what we do, right? Hi, Amber. Yes, Carol, thank you. Yeah, we really enjoyed it. It was fun. My husband was in Nashville for business, and he left last Tuesday, and so I flew out on Thursday night to join him, and then we spent the weekend there and flew home on Sunday night. All right, so guys, let's just talk about a couple things. Let me back up and say welcome. I know I said welcome, but welcome again. If you are new here on a Saturday, welcome. My name is Lael Kankar, and I have a business called Lael by Mail. I pre-pandemic traveled all over the world and was doing a lot of teaching at events and scrapbook stores and different things like that. Teaching planner classes, teaching traveler's notebook classes, layout classes, mini book classes, all different kinds of things. And I have done that for years and years and years as part of my career with a number of different scrapbooking companies in the industry. 3 years ago, I broke off and went out on my own, and here we are. When the pandemic hit, obviously all the in-person teaching came to a screeching halt, and so that very first weekend, I found myself here on YouTube, and here we are 2 years later. So when we get together here on Saturdays, we're usually every Saturday, as long as I'm not traveling. we get together here and we do what I like to call creative listing. So 2 days before, usually on Thursdays, I will post 3 different list topics on my blog, lailbymail.com. And we get together and I am always listing and I use different product and it's just like creative playtime. Because my business is crafting, there's not a lot of time that I set aside for myself to be creative and just do fun things that aren't related to my business. And that's what Saturdays are for me. So we have our list topics and sometimes I'm using photos, other times not photos, but I'm always writing, making my lists, and then always using lots of other fun goodies, whether stamps or die cuts or stickers or paper or washi or what have you. So I know some of you join in and list with me on Saturdays if you are watching live. Others of you can't watch live and you're watching the replay. Some of you are doing something entirely different. You might be working on a different crafting related project. Some of you are working, some of you are cleaning the house, some of you are driving. I think one of the things that we learned through COVID is that, or the pandemic, is that a lot of us were starved for social interaction. And for someone like me who is very used to traveling a lot and teaching and relating and doing this, but in person with people, it was really difficult to kind of lose that, especially when there was zero, really interaction going on. So this has turned into an amazing place for me to come and hang out and craft and hang out with you guys. And we've kind of built this little community. And when I say we, I mean mostly you guys, because you guys, especially those of you that are here live, you do lots of kind of interaction in the chat. And I love that. You guys have started to get to know each other and it's really fun. So it is a fun place to be on Saturdays. So welcome. That's kind of well, that's not really the short explanation. That's not the long one either, but there you go. As we're working, I will be using different products and I try as much as I can to include links in the description of the video of the different products that I'm working with. I have a website, lailbymail.com, and in a lot of cases, they're products that I carry. And I carry kind of a really odd mismatch of products because they're the products that I like to use when we're listing. So that's why you see what you see there. So if you see something I like and you want to know where it's from, click on the link in the description of the video, or you can just go to my website and look for it. Sometimes there are things that I use that I don't carry. And when I use something like that, I always try to link to it in the video so you know where you can find it. So there's kind of a little quick rundown. There is a live chat that takes place as we're going along. So if you're watching live, I encourage you to hop into that chat and just say hi. Well, I was going to say, I know you're here, but sometimes, especially at this little intro part, it's hard for me to talk and then pay attention to the chat at the same time. So, but it's helpful for everyone else to know that you're here. And if you are new, we love for you to say hello and then just say, hi, I'm new. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from if you're comfortable with that. Otherwise, just say, hi, I'm new. Super, super, super friendly bunch. As we get going and I flip the camera and I just start working, if you have questions, sometimes I will see them in the chat, and that's once we flip and start going. If I miss the question, you can ask it again. Sometimes if you ask it in all uppercase, type it in all uppercase, then I will see it if I happen to glance up. But others of you that have been around for a while, obviously, please feel free to answer a question. If you know the answer, don't be shy. Just type it in the chat. If you are not watching live, but you're watching the replay, welcome. Love having you regardless. One of the things I would ask you guys to do is, as you're watching, at some point, if you'd give the video a thumbs up, that is super, super important to all it's a love-hate relationship when you do what I do. There are lots of us out here that do this. It's a love-hate relationship with social media. And I include kind of YouTube as social media. We have to kind of be a slave to it. So super easy thing that you can do to support. And this is not just me. This is anyone that you follow or watch on social media. A thumbs up means the world. So if you do that, I'd appreciate it. Okay. Terry, and that was really nice too. Terry said, please use Lael's link in her description. It helps her out a lot. Yeah, if you are shopping, even if you're shopping, I, for example, use distress inks a lot, and I pretty much every week use them. I don't carry them because there are far too many colors for me to carry, but I do include a link to scrapbook.com. And when you purchase through the links, if they're not through my website, then I get a little tiny little tiny. So I appreciate that. And thank you, Terry. I appreciate you mentioning that as well. Okay, friends. I'm going to check the chat real quick. I know I've missed tons of things. So yes, please say hello if you haven't already said hello. Okay, so excuse me. Lots of housekeeping things before we flip the camera and get going. The first one is I always do a prize, at least one prize every week. I like to give prizes. I think it's fun, and I think a lot of us like to win prizes or have an opportunity to win prize. So generally, what I do, the way that you can participate in the prizes or the giveaways is I ask you to leave a comment on the video once the video is over. So not in the chat, but a comment on the video once the video is over. So it's just a really good thing to get in the habit after you watch. Just pop right back in, leave a comment, and I will draw however many prizes I'm giving away that day. I will draw a random comment or 2 or 3 or whatever it is. And literally when I say random, I sort them by newest first and I just scroll, and wherever my finger stops, that is the person that wins. So that's a really quick and easy way to do, and it's random that way. So last week we had a prize, and I had asked you on, well, not last week, 2 weeks ago, I had asked you to leave a comment on the video telling me what one of your favorite cliches was, because that was one of our list topics. And so some of you did that. And this morning, before we got going, I picked a random comment, and that random comment, that one was for Gracie Creates. And so Gracie Creates won one of my new stamp sets, the favorite stamp set. So the way that you always know that you win, if you win, is I will reply to your comment. And then when I reply to your comment, I tell you what information I need from you in order to ship your prize. So congratulations, Gracie. I'll do another prize this week, and I will do another one of my new stamp sets, the Bullets and More. So I will use that as we get going. Oh yeah, the Bullets and More and the Stylus. All right, so that was our first little housekeeping, and I'll at the very end do another reminder again about the giveaway. And let's see, one of our list topics today is simple joys. So what I will ask you guys to do is comment on the video when it's over. Just tell me what's a simple joy in your life, right? Simple. Doesn't have to cost money. Doesn't have to necessarily take time. Just a simple joy in your life. And when we get to that list, I'll ask you guys that are watching live to tell me in the chat. And then that will be the giveaway for next week. Okay, couple more housekeeping items. We will not be listing together here on Saturday, April 30th. I will be out of town, so we will not be together on the 30th. To make up for that, we will be together all day on Saturday, May 7th. The very first Saturday in May for many years has been International Scrapbooking Day. And so we'll do another one of our all-dayers. It'll be split into 2 sessions, so a morning session and an afternoon session. The sessions are totally different. I just have to split them so I can take a quick hour break in between and go to the bathroom and get something to eat and then kind of get going again. So we'll do another all-dayer. We'll do a mixture of listing. We'll do our creative listing as we always do on Saturdays. We'll also do some memory keeping. So I'll be doing some memory keeping in a couple of different traveler's notebooks. So kind of save the date on May 7th and watch a couple days before May 7th, your email or social media or my blog or whatever. However you always end up here, however you find that information, I will be sharing the information for that day, a couple days before the 7th. Couple more things. We've been doing this now, gosh, a little over 2 years. And we've been listing for about 1.5 years of the 2 years. I have a number of, actually now 3 different lists of list topics out there. So there's one for all the lists that we did in 2020, one for all the lists we did in 2021, and earlier this week, I put together a list of list topics so far for 2022, so January through March. And I will continue to update that one every quarter, about every 3 months. So that is posted on my blog, layoutbymail.com. So if you are looking for that, and in that blog post, I also include the links to the 2020 and 2021. So if you're newer or you maybe been around a while, but you want to go back and revisit some list topics that you never had a chance to get to, you will find those. I think I also linked to those in the description of the video as well. Let me take a quick breather and look at the chat real quick. Karen said I did it again. She's having another all dayer because of me. Pam, if you're gonna miss the 7th, and that's okay. I mean, I'm sure you have something amazing going. Well, that sounded silly. Whatever. Not everybody can make it live, but you can always watch the replay. So I will be doing, when we do the all dayers, I do lots of giveaways, and I will be doing giveaways both live as well as on the replays in case you can't make it live. Yeah, Teresa, I know it's a busy time of year. Teresa said it's a busy day. Son graduates from Michigan State. Oh my goodness, that's exciting. Great Lakes Mega Meet. Teresa, I have taught at the Great Lakes Mega Meet many years ago. I think when I worked for Scenic Route. So that was back, oh my gosh, I want to say probably 2006 maybe. But yeah, that's been a long time ago. That was the first and only time I've ever had someone walk out of one of my classes. Well, I should clarify that. I've had people walk out of my classes before, but they said, oh, I'm sorry, I have to go. I've got other plans, or I need to go to the bathroom or whatever. This woman was visibly not happy, and she made a huge ordeal of packing up her things and stomping out of the room. That's what I remember about the Great Lakes Mega Meet. Isn't that funny, the things we remember? Okay. Joe just asked a good question. She said, how can we figure out which video goes with the list topic? So, Joe, someone, are you asking about the list of lists, right? I think you're talking about the list of lists. So someone probably maybe mid last year said, hey, you know what would be really helpful on the list of list topics? If you put the date in parentheses of the video. And so I started doing that about 6 months ago. So you'll see for the 2022 list, after each list topic, there is a date in parentheses. That date corresponds with the date of the video where I made the list. At some point, maybe I'll get really ambitious and try to go back all the way into 2020 and 2021, but that will be a rainy day project. And there haven't been any rainy days in a long time in my little world. Let's see. Michelle just asked a great question. Michelle said, will there be a sale on May 7th? Michelle, there will be. There will not be a sale on any new product. There'll be some bundles of older product that I will put together, and that's typically what I do on either the Black Friday sale or the International Scrapbooking Day sale. No sale on any of my Lail by Mail products because we just did that. But yeah, there'll be some good sales, so I encourage you to tune in. And even if you can't tune in, you'll see those sales that day. Yeah, the 7th will be fun. You know what Julie said? How rude to walk out. So here's the thing. I always, when this is part of what you do for a living and you see somebody get up and leave, you have to decide in your head how you want to let that affect you, right? Now, when somebody huffs and puffs and walks away, that's a little bit harder. But early on, because I've been teaching for a really long time as part of this world, and then also part of my my business background. Anyhow, I had to very early on decide that if somebody left, I just had to assume it was them and not me, right? It's not you, it's not me, it's you, whatever. That either they weren't feeling well, or they had to get up and go to the bathroom, or make a phone call, or there were extenuating circumstances, and that's what I chose to do because I'll never know unless someone tells me later. So I might as well just figure, you know what, must be something going on in their world, so it's all good. The other thing is too is if you're not having a good time, you should not have to stay where you are, right? So if someone's not having a good time, by all means, go do something different. Go have more fun, right? Okay. Oh, Shelly Rose. Oh, my dear, you are amazing. Shelly said, I actually went back and put the dates on the 2020 and 2020 list so I could find them. If you'd like them, I'll be happy to send them to you. Shelly, I would love that. Yes, please, 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 please send me an email. And then I know everyone else will absolutely appreciate that. That'd be amazing. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah, right. And exactly. Maybe she got a stressful text. We never know. So I think that's just something in life. If you can, I mean, we already put enough on ourselves as it is, right? So if we can try to push some of that stuff on and assume it's someone else is having the issue and not us, if we're never going to know, then why not, right? You know, Kay, you're sweet. Thank you. Judith K, Judith, thank you. Self-preservation, right? Self-preservation. Okay. So, we talked about no, we won't be together on Saturday the 30th of April. We will do an all-dayer on Saturday, May 7th, International Scrapbooking Day. The updated list of lists I talked about. A quick, just total side note, because I am getting lots and lots of questions about, where's my order? Where's my order? Those of you that placed your pre-order for these, they're done. They're done. Look at the chunkamunkas. Yes, they are done. So these started shipping yesterday. And we should have all of those orders out. When I say we, I mean me and, you know, Nick after work. Yeah. So we should have all of those orders out hopefully like mid next week, hopefully by Wednesday. So if you ordered either of those or both, just know that your shipping confirmation should come shortly. And if not, you'll find those on my website if you didn't order them. Tomorrow, watch for an email. Those of you that purchased the early summer traveler's notebook kit, also getting lots of questions about that. When is that class? Email going out tomorrow. So you'll have the information for that. What does that say? Oh, one more thing. You guys, this time of year, usually spring and fall is when the manufacturers in our little crafting industry release a lot of new products. A lot. And it's not uncommon that you guys see products somewhere and you'll email me and say, hey, are you getting this in? Are you getting this in? Are you getting this in? Or will you be teaching a class with this? Or will you have a traveler's notebook kit with that? There is a page on my website called Coming Soon. And that is broken into two sections. One is new product coming soon, and the other one is new project kits coming soon. So that's a great place to go and look if you were wondering if I'll have something. All right, enough of all that. That's all of the housekeeping that we needed to get out of the way. So I am going to flip the camera. I'm going to take a quick drink of water. So if you need a little hydration break, it's good to get your water or liquid in, whatever you use to liquidate, or hydrate, not liquidate. Liquidate sounds better. So I'm going to flip the camera, take a quick sip, and we'll be ready to go, okay? And now that will give me a chance to also look at the chat. Oh, Mandy, I know, the new Simple Stories. Yeah, I will be doing a couple different things. A traveler's notebook kit with that and a mini book kit. Okay, here we go. Quick. A quick little flipperoo. All right, I've just got to get us situated there. And I'm just about, as I'm watching this with you guys, I am about, 10-second delay. Colleen, if you are here, I am plugging in my phone. Yeah, Simple Stories is killing it lately. Amber and her team, oh my goodness, yes. If those of you that don't know, I worked for Simple Stories for 6 years. So that's why that's not why you always see me use a lot of Simple Stories. I love Simple Stories products. And so that's why you always see me use a lot of Simple Stories. But I also know lots about them and their products because I worked there for quite a while. Cindy, I love that you asked that question, Cindy. And maybe the ladies, or I should say the people that are here may have some suggestions for you. Cindy had emailed me earlier this week and asked about how ideas on adding fragrance to our books, traveler's notebooks, scrapbooks, whatever it is, and that's a hard one. So, Cindy, I love that you came here and asked that question. Hi, how do you say that? Lele Day. Did I say that right? Love it. You have a little bit of a different name like me. I love it. All right. So I think, okay. Camera's not crooked. My iPad was crooked. That's how I watch you guys. So, or that's how I can see what, anyhow, whatever. Yes, that's how you say it. Lele. Oh, I bet there's a good story behind your name, I bet. All right. Okay. So, we are going to get listing. Curious as we're working. Are you guys listing with me? Who's listing with me and who's just kind of hanging out? Are you working on a list? Are you working on another project? What are you working on? I generally, when we start, after I flip the camera, we like to take a look at our lists from the prior week, which in this case would have been 2 weeks ago, right? So we did 3 lists 2 Saturdays ago. Sorry. We did 3 lists. ooh, 2 Saturdays ago. One, I went back a little on, so let me just find it. Oh, there we go. One of our lists was when I can't sleep. Pam is listing today. Sandy is, making Jello eggs. I just saw the Jello part. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. I took my glasses off and I'm like, I can't see. Wonder when I took my glasses off. That's funny. Yes, Colleen, gotcha. Thanks so much for the reminder. All right. You know what? When we flipped, I forgot to take my water. Linda May. Linda May. Cleaning out the garage, making room for crafty stuff. Marilee, just really quick. I saw your comment from 2 weeks ago, and I saw this morning, and I saw you said something about Milpitas. I have been to Milpitas. I used to spend quite a bit of time at Milpitas. In Milpitas, when I worked for AT&T, there was a company there called Octel, and they were the voicemail provider. So of the division I worked for at AT&T. So yes, Milpitas, fun. Okay, so here we go. Lurk, you know what, Beth? I love Beth. I am proud of you. I don't know Beth. I don't think I know Beth. Beth said, I am usually just a lurker trying to get more involved. Beth, way to put yourself out there. I love that. Good for you. I know it's hard, and especially if you are either you're newer or you're not, but you've been here a while, but you've always kind of been lurking. It's hard, right? It's like when we were in grade school or middle school. It was always hard to like walk up to the cool girls sitting at the lunch table and say, "Hi, can I sit with you?" or "Hi, what are you guys eating for lunch?" It's hard, but usually once you did that, you were so glad that you did. So good on you, Beth. I'm proud of you. All right. Okay, so when I can't sleep, that was one of our lists. Fitting, because this is my life these days, you guys. I don't know what I do. I know what it is. I'm sure, well, it's stress. It's I stress about a lot of things, and so so it affects my sleep. This morning, I finally fell asleep probably at 12:30 and woke up at 2:15 and was wide awake. So went out on the couch and was up until about 4:15 and then woke up at 6. So lots of times I am running on, I don't know what I'm running on, but that also partly explains the squirrel stuff, you guys. Okay, when I can't sleep. So we had a lot of fun with that. What we do when we can't sleep. And on this list, I used Kid at Heart. And menopause, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably a lot of what it is, Julie. Menopause, just part of it too is I wake up in the middle of the night like sweating so prolifically because, yeah, menopause, yeah. And I have to go to the bathroom and menopause, and so it's all the things. Okay, when I can't sleep, using using one of my new Washis and then Kid at Heart. Our second list that we did was I had zero time. HGTV. Sarah, I love HGTV, Home and Garden Television. And that one, well, I can just put on the background and it interests me enough. And then generally I can fall asleep, but sometimes it takes a while for me to eventually get to that point where I turn it on. Favorite cliches. We had a lot of fun with this one. Lots of stuff in the chat about our favorite cliches. Things like all hat and no cattle, or between a rock and a hard place, or a little bird told me, or no brainer, or I think if you haven't done this list, this would be on the blog. And I actually included a link to a website that had the most comprehensive list of cliches alphabetically that I'd ever seen in my life. So that's a good kind of thought provoker starter if you want to do this list. I used Simple Vintage Indigo Garden, which, so beautiful. I've been using the purple lately, you guys, and I am not a purple person. So definitely this collection kind of helps to bring out the purple. Used my new favorite stamp set. This morning I added just a few and then I ran out of time. So at some point this weekend, I know it'll be tomorrow, it won't be today. At some point this weekend, I will finish that little list. And then our third list, this one. Our third list was about last month. So about last month, we've been doing now almost 2 years, every Saturday for almost 2 years. Not every Saturday, every month. And this is my way of doing a really quick and easy recap of what happened during the month. And it's generally what happened during my life or my family. And I use my About Last Month stamp set and a lot of photos, and off we go. So there we are. Those were the 3 lists that we did 2 weeks ago when we were together. And now that is going to take us into our first list for today. I don't mind that my Traveler's Notebook insert is completely taken apart. Part of something I did on our 2-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago. So as soon as I am done with this, I will be stitching it back together, and I will be doing that on a recorded video, and I'll have it on my YouTube channel so you can kind of see how I do that. All right, so our first list is called, well, it's Then and Now. So I have done a Then and Now. I think I maybe over the last 2 years or so, a Then and Now, maybe once or twice. And you can decide how you want to use, well, you can always decide how you want to use any of our list topics, but Then and Now. My thought behind this, and this was a list that was suggested by my friend Karen Petrowski. Karen is not a crafter like some of us are. She's not a scrapbooker. Karen and I have been friends for, oh my gosh, probably 27 years. I've known her husband for about 30 years. Her husband, Carrie, and my husband, Nick, were fraternity brothers, and we all went to college together, but not Karen. Karen went to Michigan State. Someone said Michigan State earlier. Anyhow, Karen is an amazingly talented person, but she doesn't really do what we do, but she knows all about my listing, and sometimes she just pops in and says hello. But she's really good about giving me ideas for list topics. So this one was her. And it's the Then and Now, what I'm calling it, but it's basically how we used to do things back then versus how we do them now. And as with any of our list topics, you decide what you want that to mean, what you want that to be, and what you want to go on your list. So I have in front of me products from the Simple Stories, the new Simple Stories Let's Get Crafty collection. And I wanted to pull this one out specifically to use for a list that was not crafting related at all. I think that we as crafters have to take it upon ourselves sometimes to look at things and figure out how we can make them work for us. Now, I will also be using this collection for one of the lists that we do on International Scrapbook Day, but I've pulled out, as I kind of separated things, I pulled out things that were not crafty related from the collection. So the collection, Let's Get Crafty, has all kinds of, what did I do with that? Oh, yes, has all kinds of stickers and die cuts that are related to crafting, but you can see, like, so fun, so cute. But I have kind of not, I haven't pulled these out because most of these I will not be using, although this is a good one. Yay, today is a good day. XOXO, I heart this so much. So some good things. Some good things. Well, all good things. Yeah, all good things, but things that are not specifically crafting related. And that is going to be the focus with this collection today. So I'm just going to put all the things that I won't be using in that little pouch, and off we go. So one of the things I love about this collection. Yes, Debbie. Okay, so Debbie just said Kelly Bangs. Woot woot. What Debbie means by that, every once in a while, Simple Stories will work with a designer that doesn't work for them. And that's what they did with this particular collection. Kelly Bangs, and I don't know Kelly's name other than it's Kelly, right? Kelly Bangs. I think on social media, she goes by Kelly Bangs Creative, but she worked with Simple Stories in designing this collection. So very fun. But what I loved about this, oh my gosh, this color palette. I mean, if that does not make you happy, I don't know what does. This is me. You see me use this kind of color palette in my distress inks a lot. This is just a really fun design and fun aesthetic that's great for crafting, right? That's the theme of it. But all of the papers that I pulled out, I mean, look how fun this one, like the numbers behind all of those florals, some really basic patterns. It's just, oh, so good. So I will Long beyond, I've kind of used out this collection and used out a lot of the icons in the collection. I will still be using a lot of the pattern paper and some of the basics, like these things, just because it's just a good generic. We can always generally pull out the good generic and things, even if it's like a Disney themed collection or even like a baby themed collection. There's always generic things that don't really carry the theme or carry it heavily that we can use. So that is what I will be using for the base of my layout, or my spread, really layout, right? Oh, Lisa, that's a very nice thing to say about her. Lisa said, and I don't know Kelly. Lisa said, Kelly is the bee's knees, so talented and a beautiful heart for the Lord and community. All right. Okay, so here we go. You know what, Mandy? So Mandy, this is interesting. Mandy said, it reminds me of old school Reset Girl. So I am probably 90.2% sure that Kelly, and some of you that know Kelly may be able to confirm or deny this, that Kelly years ago used to design some of the artwork for the Reset Girl. So I thought the same thing because I think that's part of Kelly's aesthetic. All right. So I've just pulled out some papers that I thought I might want to use for the base of my list, my spread here. I, I love this one, right? Love. Yeah. Okay. Terry, that's what I thought. Yeah. Terry said, Terry and Debbie have now confirmed. And Lisa, yeah, that she did, lots of you are confirming, yes, that she used to do some design work for the Reset Girl. Yes, so there are some elements that if you knew Corey or you knew the Reset Girl back then, some elements that are very, very much true to kind of that style. All right, so I love this. I love this stripe. And I love that it's a horizontal stripe. And we'll talk about why I love that in a minute. And I really like this one. I will end up covering up quite a bit of the pattern paper because I need to, this is all about listing, right? So I need to put my list on there, but I think those will be my two. I just don't know which way I'll go. I'll probably end up going this way. I need a trimmer because I need to trim that paper down. So the paper that is there is from the Let's Get Crafty 6x8 pad. So Let's Get Crafty is one of the collections you'll find on my website. So it's linked in the description box of the video. I almost exclusively in my listing, although after I say that, you'll see me use a 12x12 in one of our lists later today. But I almost exclusively use, sorry you guys, I have a frog in my throat. That's one of the cliches on my cliche list, frog in your throat. I almost exclusively use 6x8 papers in my list for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Traveler's Notebooks inserts that I use are called standard wide. So this is a standard wide insert. It is called standard wide as compared to a standard because this would be a standard, right? It is not as wide. So standard is 8.25. Wide is 5 inches wide, and the regular standard is like 4.33. So I almost exclusively use a standard wide just because when you are opening up, and if you have an extra 3/4 of an inch here, 3/4 of an inch here as compared to, your wide, that gives you an extra 1.5 inches in your spread. So I bring all that up to say, if this is 5 by 8.25 and I have a 6x8 paper from a 6x8 pad, that is 6x8. Guys, I'm going to step away for 1 second just so I can clear my throat because that is going to keep causing an issue. So I'll be right back. it into a full-blown coughing fit, so I'm not sick. Wow. Anyhow, so when I was in the bathroom, I noticed that I had a little like blueberry seed in my teeth. Nobody told me earlier I had a blueberry seed in my teeth. What kind of friends are you guys? No, maybe you didn't notice, but I'm like, oh my goodness, that's just right there. Yes, Diane, it is 5.2, it's 5 inches wide by 8.25 inches tall. And that is a standard wide. All right, so I typically will trim down the paper. If I'm going to use the paper as a base, I will typically trim it down to 4 3/4 or 4.75. The reason why I do that is it's already a 1/2 inch shorter, right? Because it is 8 and the insert is 8.25. That will give me a quarter, not quarter, really like a little tiny white border all the way around. Now, once I get this deep in my traveler's notebook, and it's because it's also all separated, I will work on this entire list, this entire spread off the page. So I am going to set my insert off to the side, and I will create my lists here. And then as soon as they're done, I will adhere them into my insert. And then these, what we have left over, right? We have very little. I thought I got that frog. I didn't. We have very little waste or excess, right? So we just have these cute little strips, but a lot of times I like to save these cute little strips because you can still decorate a really basic list with your little strips like that. So that's the one reason, first reason why I like to use 6x8. But another reason is the pattern. Most manufacturers, if they have a smaller size pad, either a 6x6 or a 6x8, they will shrink or scale the pattern down to the size of whatever the print is. So what I mean by that is, let's just look at one of these, because this is Life Right Now from Pink Fresh, and they don't do 6x8 pads. So that's usually why every once in a while you'll see me bring in a, oh, look at that. Now it's shrink wrapped inside. You'll see me bring in like a 12x12 collection kit or paper pack or something like that. It's because that's why they don't do 6x8. So what I just wanted to show you here, let's find a pattern that would really, okay, like this is a really good example. So if this paper was in a 6x8 and the pattern wasn't scaled down, then that's a really large, kind of the graphics here are really large once you get to a 6x8. So as I said, most manufacturers will scale that pattern down. Here, these flowers would be scaled down for the size. So you don't have a lot of larger icons or larger artwork, if that makes sense. And that is why I like to use 6x8s. Alrighty, so here is our base. Let's get some of this paper out of the way now. Oh, look at those two together. Even this is just kind of, this yellow is like such a bright, happy yellow. Whew, makes me happy. Okay, and then this, this is, those of you guys that were talking about Corey or the Reset Girl before, this is one of the patterns that I look at that really reminds me of that. Okay. Let's move these out of the way. And, all right, base of my list. Now I need some white cardstock, right? I need white cardstock. Oh goodness. Remember when I put the little stickers behind me and said, I'll figure out where these come from later? That one just popped off because the door was in the way of what I have behind me. Okay, white cardstock, where are you? Okay, here we go. So white cardstock, generally, I use a lot of white cardstock in my list making because if I want to use pattern like this, I mean, I could write my list on there, but I really couldn't write my list directly on there, right? Just too busy. So I will take a piece of white cardstock. I always use 8.5 by 11. Reason I use 8.5 by 11 is because the size of insert I use. 8.5 by 11. If I trim this down to 8.25, because that is the height of the inserts I use, the standard wide, only a little tiny waist, right? And then if I trim that down to 5 inches wide, that is the width, 5 by 8.25, right? So I can get 2 out of one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. This is Nina Bright White, the cardstock, and it's linked in the description of the video, and I just get it at on Amazon. Lots of sheets at a time. Lots and lots. All right. So now I just cut those down, and I always go through this because I think it's just helpful to see my thought process when I am getting my the base of my lists ready to go. Normally, I would right here just pick the width. I just pick a width and trim my cardstock down so we'd still see the pattern paper. But before I do that, I know that I'm going to be stamping my titles. So one side will say then and one side will say now. I have pulled out Linda May. Do you have a list? Do you have a list that I can send my kids? They asked what I want for Mother's Day and birthday. It would be great to send them my mail by mail wish list. Oh, do I have a wish list? You know what? I do not, Linda May, have a wish list on my website. But you know what? There may be like let me just make a quick little note. There may be an add-on. There may be an add-on that I can add on to my website that is super easy to do. So I need to look at that. There are actually a couple things I need to do. Someone else requested show more products per page. So I just made both of those little notes right there. Okay. Pam said, is this the cardstock you use for swatching your inks? Pam, it is. Same exact cardstock that I use for swatching my inks. And that, let me get some of my stamping stuff out. So while I'm doing that, I will kind of talk a little bit about that. When we talk about ink swatching, and if you're not sure what we are talking about when we say ink swatching, this is what we mean. You take your inks, you take a stamp, which happens to be a stamp that's one of mine that I designed, called Swatch This Inks, and you swatch your inks. So you know what colors, what your inks really look like when you're going to kind of pick an ink to use. The cardstock that you use when you're stamping makes a big difference, right? If you think about it, it's kind of like, I don't know, a paper towel or toilet paper or paper napkin or something like that, right? The quality counts in certain situations. And so if you're using a cardstock that is not very good quality, or it's not very thick, or it has, it's not flat, it has some dimension to it, or it has some, not dimension, what am I thinking? Like embossed texture, that's what I was looking for, texture to it, that will really affect your stamp image. So that is the white cardstock. And I don't know, I think you can get 250 sheets for like 15 bucks or something like that. So it's not expensive. What am I looking for? Oh yes, I'm looking for my stamping stuff. So for my title, one page will say then, one page will say now. And I have pulled out one of Carrie Bradford's alpha stamp sets. This one is called Max, and this is one of my favorites of hers. So I will be using that. I need to grab a stamping block, and I think, Terry, don't be sad. I am going to use black for my title, just because there's a lot of color going on, and I want something to kind of help anchor that title. So I'm going to use black. I've been very good the last year about kind of getting out of my comfort zone, because black is my comfort zone. Black is my comfort zone clothing wise, believe it or not, because you guys never see me in black because it's not very, it doesn't like show very well on video. But yes, also was my comfort zone for a long time when it came to stamping, but all the color. I'm stamping with all the colors now. All right, so I have pulled out stamping block, and these are the Fiskars nested stamping blocks that I have on my website. I am going to pull the letters to spell then. Construction. Those of you that have been with me for the last 2 years, construction. The last house around us, they are framing right now, and then that will be it. We built in a brand new neighborhood. We've been here almost 4 years now. I think there's 160 homes. So the last one near us is being framed. So for a long time there, guys, on Saturdays, we kind of had to deal with the noise, right? So I don't know if you guys can hear that outside, but they're working away today. All right, here we go. Then clear stamping blocks, very much preferable, especially one that has a lines on it. So you can see on this one, see the little lines? That helps me line up my stamps, right? Whatever I'm trying to stamp with. So there we go. Then that looks pretty good so far. I always do a test stamp. Now, you know what's interesting? When I did this before, I must have used a different, oh, I bet now might fit there. Oh, it doesn't matter. All right, let me put that off to the side. Always do a test stamp. Couple reasons. Number one, you can see I've used the T before, but I have not used the HEN. These stamps have not been used before. You always want to prime your stamps before you use them. And you don't need to do that ahead of time. You just make that part of your process as you're getting ready to stamp something. There are a couple of different ways that you can prime your stamps. Photopolymer stamps have a very thin, you can't see it, a very thin coating on them. And so if you've ever stamped before and you've put your ink on and you get like a really kind of weird blotchy, little bit of a blotchy looking stamp, it almost looks like it has water in it a little bit. That is because that film is still on there. So the way that you can get that film off, some people will take like an eraser and you can erase it off, right? I generally don't do that. I don't know. Oh, there it is. So you could take an eraser, you could erase it off. You could rub it like on your arm. You could, I know that sounds funny. You could like tap it on your pants. You could take a lint-free towel and just do that. You just want to get that off. My favorite way to do that is I just stamp, because you can also get it off by stamping. So I will stamp a test stamp first. And I just have like a little composition notebook that you can see where I just do all of my test stamping in, and some washi swatching. So I am going to take my black ink and I'm going to ink that up really well. The black ink that I use, there's actually one ink that I do have on my website, and it's this guy. It's the VersaFine Clair Black. It is a pigment ink. So pigment inks, if you know anything about distress ink, so the distress inks or the distress oxides, or if you look at them and go, what's the difference? Distress oxide, distress inks, pigments versus dye-based inks. I always am stamping with pigment ink, the distress oxides. The reason I like to do that is because I like a I like a very opaque or complete stamped image, right? And a pigment ink is more of an opaque ink, okay? I call it a juicy ink. Gives you a really good kind of stamped image. Now, this I have a little bit of, it's a pretty good stamped image, right? It's pretty complete, but I have a little bit of white or the paper underneath showing through. So it's looking good. Once I ink it up again and stamp it again, then it will be great. So that's the first reason that I always do a test stamp, is to, whoopsie, let me bring that down a little bit. Sorry, you guys couldn't see that. That's the first reason to do a test stamp. Sorry, you guys. There we go. Now you can see it. Other reason to do a test stamp is to make sure that it's lined up evenly, right? That looks pretty good, lined up evenly. But if you are using individual letter stamps to spell a word, always good idea to test it first to make sure you spelled it correctly, all right? So there we go. There is my then. And I am going to come in, before I trim this, I'm going to come in and stamp my then. So I need to re-ink. And this is just personal preference, okay? Using distress oxides, using pigment inks, that's totally personal preference for me. If you are interested in distress inks and you're not sure on distress ink versus distress oxide, the very bottom in the description box of the video, I've included a link. There's a great article on scrapbook.com that explains the difference between distress oxides and distress inks and the different properties and the blendability of one versus another, and if you want to use it for mixed media and watercoloring and all different kinds of things like that. But I don't use it for any of that. I just use it for stamping. Another personal preference is I prefer to apply my ink to the stamp like that, right? Ink to the stamp versus stamp to the ink. It just, for me, it's a little bit cleaner. And that's just me. So I always will do that. Ink to stamp. And then nice and juicy. We should be ready to go. And I'm going to stamp right about there. Okay, I want to apply a nice even pressure, right? You don't want to be timid when you stamp. You need to stamp with intention, right? You're timid when you stamp, then, and I know a lot of times we're timid, right? We're like, I don't want to mess it up. Now, we really don't have to worry about messing this up because it's just a piece of white cardstock, right? If I messed it up, well, I could just turn it over or get another piece. But stamp with intention. You've got to just go and get in and do it. So there's my then. Now, as I said, I wanted to stamp before I trimmed. Oh, here's another tip when it comes to stamping. Doesn't matter what color ink you are stamping with. Do a quick hand check. Okay, do a quick hand check. I happen to have, I have a little bit of black ink on my fingers. So I want to clean that off before I start working. That's white cardstock. And I will end up with the little black fingerprints on my project if I don't check. So always a good idea, get in that habit. Stamp and then check. Stamp, check your fingers, make sure you're good. And if you're using baby wipes, I usually have baby wipes handy because it's an easy way to clean my hands, but then I also can use the baby wipe to clean my, my stamps in a sec. All right, so now let's come in with our trimmer, because now I want to narrow it down. And if I know this is 4.75, 4 3/4, I need to have, let's see, that's about a 1/4 inch on that side. So let's give ourselves about a 1/4 inch on that side. That looks probably pretty close, right? A little bit more. All right, so what I'm going to end up with is about 4. So this guy is going to be 4 inches wide, okay? And that will be the base of my list. Now, before I said something about a stripe. There's two ways, there's more than 2 ways a stripe can go, but generally you either see a horizontal or vertical. I am 100% behind a horizontal stripe. The reason why is because look it, when we do this, I get all of those little beautiful colors showing through. Horizontal stripe, I will always, always, always go with the horizontal stripe if I can, as opposed to a vertical stripe. So if I go like this with a vertical stripe, I just get that little cross section of color up there, but then I get these weird strips on the side. So if I was designing, I would always, always, always design a horizontal stripe. All right, so now we need to trim this down. Let's just say about right there. And that puts that at 7 1/4. So my little piece here is 7 1/4 tall by 4 inches wide. And that's important that I know that right now, right? It's important that I know that right now because I really want my now to also, my opposite facing page, then to also be that same width. So it looks, got some continuity from the left to the right. So there we go, that's 4. Now I don't remember what I said. Did I say 7 1/4? Yep, 7 1/4. 7 1/4. All right, there we go. Oh, Scrapinology had a great suggestion there. Said, or you can stamp on acetate first and lay it on top of where you want to stamp to make sure you will like it in that position. Acetate wipes off. Absolutely. If you're doing that, be really careful about that wiping off on your fingers. So maybe if you have a different area where you're working, maybe do that over in the different area and then get everything cleaned up before you then start stamping on whatever you're stamping on. Because if you're a spaz like me, and I'm a spaz, I will end up getting that all over my elbow, my cheek, my pants, whatever it is. All right, so now I'm just going to take my little wipey here and get that black ink off. Now, nothing wrong with the stamps. A lot of times your photopolymer stamps, especially with black, will take on the color of the ink, especially like black or red or a dark blue or something. It's not affecting the stamp at all, and it won't affect your stamped image as long as you get it really clean. It just will discolor that photopolymer. All right, so now I need to pop these back on, and I need to get Spell Now, Then and Now. This list topic is then and now, and we are listing about, at least I am listing about, the way I used to do things and the way, like in the good old days, the way we used to do things and how we do them now. This, if you were with me earlier, this was a list topic suggestion from my friend Karen Petrowski, which brings up a good point. If you guys have list topic suggestions, I love to hear them. Shoot me an email, leave a comment on the video. It's usually a little bit harder for me to see them in the chat because the chat, as I'm working, I miss so much in the chat. But let me know, because what I do is in my little handy dandy workbook, I have a section for list ideas, and we have lots. And if the person suggested it, if someone suggested it, then I always put their name so that when we're doing our list, I can say, oh yes, that was from Beach Gal, or that was from Mimi Rude. I don't know which one that is, Mimi, if you're there. Rude or Red. All right, so let's go back here now, because this is my brain when we list. So that's where I put all of my things that are going on my list. All right. So now we need to move everything around again, go back, always do a test stamp, right? Different word, but I want to, oopsie, my hair just got stuck in the camera. Different word, always test stamp, no matter what, just a really good habit to get in. Really good habit to get in. Terry, I don't remember who it was. Someone asked, I just happened to look up a little while ago and said, will you show your swatch, my ink swatching, swatch book, whatever it is, because that's what you're doing right now. So I pulled that out there. That is one of my new stamp sets, that stamp. And it is called Swatch This Inks. It's one of 3. You guys don't know about the other 2 yet. Artwork. Oh, I'm in the middle. I've approved. I actually saw the first draft of the artwork. Andy does all my stamps for me. First round of artwork, made some changes, and now I'm just waiting to see her revision. So we'll have new stamps. I will have new stamps. 4 new stamps. Probably late May. Late May. Doing new stamp releases probably every other month. That's what it's looking to be about now, about every other month. And for the most part, always related to our list, right? You know what? Let me pay attention to that again. Not bad, but look at crooked on the line. Yeah, I'm not quite straight there. So, but that's okay. I'm going to let it go. Just let it go, right? In the Frozen, let it go. Never seen the movie Frozen. Just know the song, right? Let it go. All right. There we go. So then and now. Then and now. So on my list, as I get going, the then side will be the way that I used to do things, and the now side will be the way I do them now. So this is going to be a fun conversation, guys. This is going to be a fun conversation, these list topics. Diane said, Q, what size do you cut your paper for your ink swatching? So let me just pull that out real quick, okay? Let me pull that stamp out real quick. I have one little white dot. So there was probably a little piece of lint or something on my O that wasn't there when I did my test stamp. One of my favorite things about stamping with black ink is this. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. You probably can't see that. But there's a little white, hi, pretty paper obsession. There is a little white, there was a little bit of lint on my stamp. So it did not stamp black where that is. So when it's black, I just take out my little black magic pen and there we go. Fill that in. Okay. Oh yeah, really quick. Let me show this. This is the Swatch This Inks stamp set. Diane asked, what size? So that's a good question. It depends on which one you're using. So there's two different like ink pads sizes. This one, my papers are 3x3. Okay, so that little paper, I just cut a whole bunch of little 3x3s first, and then go in with that stamp and whatever color ink it is I'm swatching. Punch a hole. So those are all my distress inks. Punch a hole in the upper left corner, and then use a giant O-ring, and there you go. I then organize all of my inks in the same way. They're all stored in the same order, so that if I say, oh yes, I want to use Barn Door, then I know where to find Barn Door in all of my inks. All right, and that is the ink, Swatch This Inks, and that is on my website. Okay, then and now, here are my two lists, and I think I decided that we were going to do this. So this will be then over here. Look at that color just pop. Isn't that so good? Oh, love it. Love the color. Then and now. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to adhere these to the base of my list. But there's one quick thing I want to talk about really quickly. Create and Play with Renee. Yes, the VersaFine ink is so nice and inky. It's like, I call it juicy because it's a really good pigment-based ink. Really quick, one thing with pigment-based inks, because they are more juicy, that's what I call them, is that sometimes pigment ink takes a little bit longer to dry than like a dye ink. So just kind of keep that in mind. Not a long time, but just kind of keep that in mind. One thing to keep in mind when you are stamping, especially if you are stamping with black ink, you want to be cognizant of what is before it and what is after it. What in your scrapbook, in your mini book, in your planner, in your traveler's notebook, whatever it is. So what I mean by that, eventually, when this list is ready to go, they will end up in my traveler's notebook. So let me find a page where I had stamped. All right, here's an example. So here, I had stamped this stamp in a pretty bright pink ink directly on the insert itself, right? Directly on the insert itself. I will answer that question in one sec, Pam. Directly on the insert itself. But before I did that, I needed to be aware of what was already going on the backside. Oh, that's where the bird came from. I remember the bird. Does the bird go right here? I think that's where the bird was. I think it was on that one. Now I don't know where the flower came from, but I'll figure that out later. I think the flower, it's not funny. They both came off that list. Let's just say it went right there. Okay. So before I stamped here, I flipped back a page, and I needed to make sure that whatever I'm about ready to stamp here did not affect what was already done here. Because in a lot of cases, your stamping is going to shadow or ghost through to the other side. See that? Do you see how on that other side, and I will try to hold it so you can see. It's just going to, I won't be able to see it for about 5 or 10 more seconds to make sure that you guys can see it. But I see now it says 1 with the end backwards, but you can see how that's ghosting a little bit. If I was stamping now, let's say if I was stamping now on this page, it would ghost to the other side. And if I had a list that was also written directly on the insert and it didn't have paper on it, I could then potentially have just ruined this list because I'd see that now ghosting through from the other side. So always before you stamp, check what is before it. And then also check what's going to come after it. So for example, if I was stamping here, if I was stamping here directly on the insert itself, directly on the page, would then kind of dictate what I was going to do here. I would have to put some kind of pattern paper or something down because if I didn't, I'd be seeing that ghosting. Here's a really good example. So this was for January, my first about last month list, and dark black and then a really inky blue. So see how much that is ghosted through the other side? So now whatever I do here, I need to make sure, oh, sorry you guys, I'm not holding that always forget I need to come way back. Whatever I'm going to do here on this intro page, I need to make sure that I cover that up because of the ghosting. All right, I promise you, if you keep that in mind and remember that, it will save you. It will save you because you guys tell me all the time, oh no, what do? I stamped and then I looked behind and I ruined a list behind. Once you do that, it's just kind of is what it is, right? Life's too short to do it over, right? Life is way too short to do it over. Just go, oh, okay, lesson learned. Now I know. Then and now. Okay, there we go. There's the then, and here is the now. If you're just joining, we are doing a list, then and now, and I am taking that to mean the way that I used to do things, or way I used to do things back then in the old days, and then the way we do things now and how things have changed. So I'll do the then here and then the now here. I am using the Let's Get Crafty collection. It is one of Simple Stories' new collections, and it is linked in the description of the video. I have it on my website. Specifically for this list, even though there are a lot of crafty related icons as part of this collection, I have pulled out very specifically the icons and stickers that are not crafty related. They are more generic because this crafty list is not, for me, this list is not crafty related, but it's a gorgeous collection. So you can use it for other things besides crafty things. All right, and then I do my outlining. That's just me. So we got to get that out of the way or else it looks really funny to me. Okay, then and now. So now what I need to figure out, I think I want to maybe add a few embellishments before I get going too far. This could go, maybe it goes here because I already have the flowers over here. Let's see what else I pulled out. Then, no, not and, but... Ooh, if we wanted to do a little bit of layering, we could get a little bit of that in there. I really like that ampersand, and I like how the ampersand kind of works with the whole then and now, but it's loose, right? I'm not saying then and now, so it kind of works. And I love how part of it is mint, and then part of it is a pattern below. So if we went like that, that's just kind of a nice little layer. But before I do that, I just remembered. I want to use some washi. Now, I pulled out one of my new washis. This is the black scallop. This is like the little black dress of washi, right? Super generic, but will work for lots of things. So this is, I thought this would be fun to use with this list. It is transparent, a little bit transparent at the bottom, so that once you put it down, that whole white part of the scallop just completely like disappears, right? You don't see it. So if we put that right here, let's try that. Go over a little bit more. I do not want to hook this together. What I mean by that is I don't want to hook these two pages together. The reason I don't want to hook the pages together is because it will, once it gets in my traveler's notebook, it really won't work hooked together. So I will line those up next to each other, right? I will line them up next. Actually, this one, we don't want to go all the way that far out. We want this to be just a little bit less. So I just tore a little bit of that off, not up. Okay, and then I'll line them up and do the other one. Oh, okay. Yes, actually, Shelly, thank you. I will round the corners. But I was just thinking, you guys need to help me remember. I have a hard stop at 1 o'clock today. 1 o'clock Mountain Time, so noon Pacific, because we're getting together with Nick's family for Easter at his sister's house. So I cannot be late for that because it already starts at 1. I said, oh, well, I'll be late. And they said, okay, no problem. No problem. There was a little bit of confusion about, because Nick is golfing in a tournament. So there's a little bit of confusion when Nick's mom, trying to make sure that a date works for everyone in the family, right? Sometimes is a little hard. And so she was trying to coordinate everything. These are now going to need to go over here because it all just kind of moves our eye over here. Oh, so she was coordinating everything with everyone, trying to make sure that a date and time would work. And so landed on today at 1 o'clock. Well, Nick misunderstood and thought it was Easter. Like really, he thought it was Saturday or Sunday at 1 o'clock. So then he's going to be running from the golf course and I'm going to be running from here. So I just need to make sure that, yeah, I am. All right, that'll be a nice little cluster there. So let's go ahead and glue those down. Lots of good flowers. Like this is from the sticker book. I pulled that out too. So that full sheet of all those yummy flowers. You know flowers can be yummy, right? And then I always like to have something bleed off the edge. It just, I don't know why. But I don't leave it sticking out because then it sticks out the side of the traveler's notebook and will get all ruined. So I have something bleed off the edge and then just trim it. We like this little guy on here still. And, hi, Val. And then this guy, we'll just kind of put right in there as well. Just doing a little bit of layering, right? Just a little bit of layering. And I am going with an odd number. I don't know. Usually things in odds, right? Odds versus evens. Using a glue pen there with that die cut, just because it's going to be a lot easier to get the adhesive behind it as opposed to trying to get my little tape runner in there, right? But this is easy to use for a tape runner, so we'll do that like that. Put that in there. All right, there we go. There's my little layering. My little cluster, the good kind of cluster, right? Not the bad kind of cluster. That's a good cluster. All right. Then I pulled a couple more things out. So what if this guy went over here? This little pencil. It's a cute pencil, right? Little polka dots. I think that might be cute. Then there's also this little pencil. So two totally different pencils, right? Oh, all right. So I can already tell which pencil I need to use, right? In fact, let me go ahead and round those corners before I forget. I keep looking up and seeing that. Shelly, thank you. I generally will round the outside corners because the inserts that I use, and I also sell the inserts on my website, they're Carpe Diem inserts, but the corners of the insert pages are also rounded. So I prefer to do just the outsides. So there we go. Now we are rounded. Back to the pencil choice. I put both pencils down and then I knew immediately which one I was going to use. This one. The reason why I would pick this one as opposed to this one is because we already have all the stripe going on and now there's a vertical stripe and there's just too much like stripey stripe going on. That's just too much, right? So I like the pencil. I like the idea of a pencil, but we want to go with something like that. That's just a little bit more, neutral, right? A little bit more neutral. It's not going to fight with other things that we already have going on there. Okay. Now we're going to pick that up with my little tweezers because that will make it a lot easier to get on there. There we go. Then and now. Now, before I start my actually writing a list. Whoo! Face fan. Oh! Okay, hold on. Hold on. Oh, darn it. Darn it. Okay, well, guess what? Let me open the window. Face fan is out of battery. Not battery. It needs to be charged to the USB. And my little thing that plugs everything in has 3 sockets on it or whatever, and then 2 USB, but the 2 USB are full. So anyhow, I just opened the windows. So you guys have to tell me if it gets too loud with the people outside. I'm working on framing the house. Okay, so now, before I start my list, I want to make a little separator, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of writing here, right? So I want to just make a little separator, and I'm using my little ruler, and I'm just going to draw a little black line right there, okay? And that is visually going to separate my title from everything I'm doing down below, my list. Whoo, hot flash. Whoo, boy. Now, what I can do is line those up. Now, that's not quite even. So, yeah. That'll be a little bit too low, but you know what? I better keep it that way. So there's going to be a little bit more room between that and that, but that's okay. Oh no, no, the big piece of equipment that moves all that. Oh, okay. All right, you guys, listen up and tell me if that's bad, if it's too loud. Hopefully that goes away really quickly. All right, so that's good. I'm gonna start and then I can add some things in between. All right, so then versus now. See you, Joe. Happy Easter. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us this morning. Oh, Lordy. If Nick was here, I'd have him fetch me the fan. Fetch me a fan, honey. Okay, so there was one more thing that I was going to use. We're gonna see. These I've used the last couple of times. This is the Stitch Washi tape from 49 and Market. So I think, what, 12 rolls, I think, of the washi, all different stitching. So if you're a spaz like me when it comes to a sewing machine and you prefer not to try to sew on your projects because you are such a spaz, then the washi's awesome. So I might just use a little bit of the washi. Ooh. Oh, golly, he's dumping like all kinds of things with his big, giant, like construction-sized forklift that you drive in the big dumpster. You get the play-by-play here, guys. All right, so we'll just do a little bit of that. Okay, just a little bit. So we've used this washi before, primarily when we're doing more vintagey. Oh my gosh, it's so loud. Okay, all right. You guys, please let me know if I'm not coming through over the noise, just because it's, yeah. Now I can separate those. Wouldn't you know it? Now's when he decides to drive the truck. Okay. Yeah, hot flashes. Thank you, Melissa. They are horrible. It's the story of my life these days, no matter what I do, no matter what. Okay, so there we go. Now let's make our list. So the first thing on my list, and I have all of this already. Thank you, Terry. I know you guys, I worry. Hi, Mindy. Okay, so first thing on my list is photos, okay? So photos. Back in the day, we used to have to take a photo with a camera and cross our fingers that it turned out, right? We wouldn't know what the photo looked like until we actually got our prints back from the Kodak kiosk in the road, in the parking lot of the grocery store or whatever, right? Well, now that's changed quite a bit. So that's gonna be the first thing on my list. On each of these things, am going to use a little bullet stamp. And the bullet stamp that I am going to use, let's get my bullet stamps out. These are my Bullets and More stamps. We use bullets on a lot of our stamps because you need something to like make your list with, right? So this Bullets and More just has a ton of different bullet stamps, numbers, banners, all different kinds of things on it. So what I think I might do, I think I might use that little guy, that little one. I was using the asterisk this morning before we all started. I was trying to finish my cliches list, but I didn't get very far. So I think I will use that little guy. I'm going to use that little guy with a stamping stylus. Hi, Ijeoma. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. How are you? Ijeoma is our friend from Nairobi, I want to say, right? Nairobi? Hi, Les. Hello, hello. Okay. I just noticed I have ink on my fingers again, so let's see. Always, always, always check, because the last thing I want is to have a big old inky mess on there. Okay, so stamping stylus. Let's talk about stamping stylus really quick. Hi, Kathy, just popping in. Nice of you to pop in. Stamping stylus. This came about, oh my gosh. I just totally drew a blank. Her first name starts with an L and her last name starts with a W. Laverne Wood, I think, Lavon. I was stamping one day and on a Saturday, and she said, because I was trying to take one of these little stamps and use it on a little stamping block. And she said, if you put your little stamp on the end of a pen or pencil, then you just stamp like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're a genius, Lavon. And then a couple weeks later, on our all day Saturday session, we were working, and let's see what color. Kitsch Flamingo could be fun. Although, actually, I think I want to pull that green color out. So let's go to my swatch book and let's find the greens. Oh, I know what's going to happen. We need a mint. We need a mint. We need a mint. There is not a really good mint distress ink. I hope every time when Tim Holtz comes out with a new one, I'm like, we need a mint. We need a mint. See, that is too green. I want that, like that kind of minty, maybe robin's egg. Maybe we might have to go, because it is a little bit more blue. Interestingly enough, evergreen bough is kind of that teal color, so that would work, but I really like that really light minty color. This is also, my friends, why you swatch your inks, because speckled egg, oh, maybe speckled egg works. Oh yeah, robin's egg is not going to be right. Where's robin's egg? Tumbled glass, too blue. Broken china, isn't there a robin's egg? Speckled egg, that's what I was looking for. Speckled egg. I think speckled egg is the one we're going to use. So I'm going to pull the speckled egg out and show you why it really helps to swatch your inks. And this is more so if you have multiple blues, multiple greens, multiple of any color, right? Because when I see it here, I can kind of get a feel for it, but once I swatch it, I get a much better feel for the actual color. Now I think Pam, Nigeria, yes. Is that what I said, Nigeria? No, Ijeoma. Now maybe, okay, anyhow, yeah, I think that's, don't mind me, don't mind me. Oh, I think Pam asked how you get a really, really, really good even pressure. A lot of pressure, a lot of even pressure. So that's going to be key. Now, if you're swatching, or this even applies to, even if you're stamping, let's say I was stamping that and I ended up with a really blotchy, I didn't quite get it all filled in on the end, or I'm swatching and I didn't quite get that all filled in. A Q-tip is your best friend in those situations because, hang on, I turned my back real quick to see where, oh, here we go. I always keep Q-tips in here. Because what you can do is you can take your Q-tip and you can take your ink and get that nice and inked up. See how that's nice and inked up? If there was a spot, I can go in there then with my Q-tip and kind of fill that in. So now that's obviously not for your whole thing. It's when you really want to get good even pressure. The other thing too is if it's the first time you're using that stamp, remember it needs to be primed. So that very first impression, it may, I'm going to close that. That's just horrible. It may give it, maybe it may give you some blotch. But Pam, the other thing is too, remember we talked about the paper that you're using. This is a nice flat, white, good quality cardstock. That will make a big difference too. The other thing is you obviously want to clean the stamp. If you're swatching, you want to clean the color in between each color, or you're really going to mess with the actual color. It's not really going to look like that. If I did a dark green and then try to do speckled egg, it's not going to look right because the speckled egg would be taking in some of the color property of the other color. Clean it really well in between. Then also let it dry. Let the photopolymer, let the stamp dry, because if it's still a little bit damp and you go and put your ink on it, well, that water, the dampness on the stamp is going to interact with that pigment ink and it's going to change it, right? So what I mean by that is, let me look. I think there are a couple in here that actually did that. Let's look at, yeah, I don't think that you'll be able to see on camera. Yeah, I don't think any of these, I can see them, but I don't think you'll be able to see on camera. So maybe that one a little bit. Do you see even in the salvaged, I love that word, salvaged patina, that here it's a little bit green and here it's a little bit bluer. That's because the stamp itself was not dry enough. It was still a little tiny bit damp. See, I don't know if you guys can see that. It was a little tiny bit damp, so the water was interacting with the color in a couple of places. That's one of the beautiful things about using distress oxides and distress inks. You can really alter the look of things by using water, but when that's not what you're after, then okay. Anyhow, I have my little stamping stylus all worked up. Oh yes, the way that then the stamping stylus came about, and this is actually one of my little products on my website that I made. Well, I didn't make, well, I don't have a saw and I don't make these things, but anyhow, I ink that up. There we go. Look at how easy though. So when I'm doing my bullets, that is like the easiest thing ever, as opposed to trying to use my little, oh my heavens. What the heck is this thing called? My stamping block. Wow. Pam, yes, I use the Misty. For swatching my inks, I use the Misty. Makes it much easier to do the repeat. And then that way you can also get your pressure, the pressure that you can get using the Misty. You can get a lot more even pressure with that. All right, now that we see that, let's look and make sure that's a good match. I mean, it's a pretty good match. It's not quite right, but you know what? It's close enough. Okay. Oh yes, so we were on our all-day Saturday thing, my 2-year 3 anniversary little all-day thing that we did a couple weeks ago, and Sarah Foss said, hey, you know what? You should make your own stamping stylus, because up until that point, I was just like trying to find a pen that it would work on the end of. You should make your own stamping stylus. And I'm like, hey, that is brilliant. So I did it and now have them on my website. And I sent one happy mail to Sarah and to Levon because it was their joint idea that got us there. So that was really fun. All right, then and now. So our first topic is, I have to figure out how to word this. With photos, we used to take a photo and had to wait for it to be developed. Not take a picture and wait for it to be developed. And this one is, we get instant gratification. With digital camera or phone, right? So this list is kind of it's almost like an offshoot of a list that we did, I'm going to say in 2020, called When I Was a Kid, right? When I was a kid, we used to have to roll down the window in the car, you know. So this is kind of a little bit of a different version of a When I Was a Kid. All right, so next up on my list is, see, now I have a lot more things on my list than I'll have room for, but that's okay. I can get selective. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones. I think we've talked about this before when we did our favorite 80s songs or favorite bands from the 80s. This next one is, you waited for your favorite song to come on the radio, then press record on your tape recorder, right? And then you would get so mad because the DJ would always be talking over like the first 30 seconds of the song. And you're like, oh my gosh, stop. Or sometimes you would miss it and you're like, dang it. And then you had to sit there for 4 more hours until the song would come on again. Because that's how we made mixtapes, right? I mean, really, that was the only way to stop and start. Well, now, boy, there's no waiting for the radio and pressing record. I don't even know what you'd press record on, right? What kind of device? So now, basically, again, instant gratification, but we have, right, Pandora and Spotify. Listen to what you want when you want. Right? what you want, when you want. Okay. Next up, we have, oh, okay. I just did the wrong end. Wrong end. All right, here we go. Next up, we have, what is next on my list? Next up, we have, oh, how about this? Blockbuster, right? When we used to have to go to Blockbuster, and it usually was a Friday night because you'd never planned in advance. You'd go to, and then you'd see all the huge section of the brand new release movies, and you'd see all those empty boxes, and you're like, yes. And then they were all sold out. There was never any DVD, disc, whatever, CD, DVD, whatever. There was never any movie in the boxes because they were all sold out. And then you get all sad. And then you're like looking for some really weird movie because that's all they had. So back then, with Blockbuster, or forget the CDs, the video cassettes, right? Blockbuster to rent a movie and hope they had it. There's a really good documentary. I think it's on Netflix. Funny that here, because this has to do with Netflix. A really good documentary about Netflix. About Blockbuster. And kind of the history. And then when they hit the heyday and were making gazillions of dollars. And then eventually, I think there's one, I think it's called The Last Blockbuster. Because I think there's still one Blockbuster video out there in Oregon, I want to say. Don't forget to rewind. I know, being charged for not rewinding. Isn't that so funny? Right. Karen. Yep. Don't step on a crack because we break our mother's backs. That's funny. And now we take pictures of our feet. Yes. A lot of scrapbookers take pictures of their feet in certain situations, right? Celia, spend 2 hours looking at all the movies, just like choosing a good book, right? For sure. Scrapbook Sister 70, when the TV went off at night, right? And it'd be like, I was always babysitting and I'd fall asleep because it'd be so late at night. I'd fall asleep on the couch and you'd wake up and you'd startled wake and the TV was still on. The TV was still on. But it was like right before it went off, it would sing like the national anthem and then it would go to the fuzz, right? Isn't that funny? And now you just have infomercials when it hits that time, right? TV never goes off. Okay, so Blockbuster to rent a movie. So we have Netflix, Hulu, Vudu, Apple TV. You stream all streaming services, right? Again, you don't even have to leave your home. You're basically just watch any of the movies, and even the nice thing. This won't go on my list because I don't have enough room, but this would be another one. And this isn't so long ago, and this still happens in some cases, where you have to watch, if you're watching like a sitcom or if you're watching a drama or something like, oh, don't even get me started. This Is Us. Oh, tear jerker, the one last week with Katobi. Oh my gosh, that made me cry. Anyhow, oh yeah. But you have to wait every week. You have to wait until the next week to watch the next episode. Whereas now, I mean, streaming services, especially if you wait a season, you can binge watch it all in one day. Okay, what do we have next? Let's see. We did that one. We did this one. Oh, okay. How about this? Phone books. The yellow and white pages, right? For numbers and addresses, right? Phone book? What the heck's a phone book? Right? What in the heck is a phone book? Although, and there's a very interesting, I don't know where I was, and some man was trying to explain to me why this is still a regulation. There's some law in the books that says the phone company still has to pay for yellow pages to be produced. That's why you probably still get phone book, that weird, like smaller yellow pages. And you're like, who uses this? Please don't give it to me anymore. Why do we even do this? But there's some law in the books that says they have to or something. Anyhow, but phone books, yes. Phone books. What the heck is a phone book? I'm sure my kids probably like phone book. Why would you even go to something? That's also, if you told, it's one of those things, you know, sometimes they show like a wall clock to younger kids and say, what time is it? And kids can't read a wall clock because all of the digital devices. Phone book. If you ask a kid to look up a phone number in a phone book, they'd be looking at this phone book like, what the heck do I do with this? I don't even know what this is. Phone book and the yellow white pages for addresses. So now it's, so our phones, our cell phones store lots of numbers and addresses, right? Then Google, right? No phone book. No phone book. All right. Next up, we have da, 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 da. This is one that's kind of a, I'll wait for that one because it's a little bit of a newer one. This is one of the ones my friend, and this is what started the whole thing. When Karen suggested the list. It used to be back in the day that you'd send a self-addressed stamped envelope for a recipe, right? So this is probably way, way earlier in my day. I mean, when I was really, really, really young, right? You'd send a self-addressed stamped envelope. Now, right? We Pinterest, Google, and like cooking websites. And blogs for recipes, right? You can pretty much find a recipe for anything. You don't have to have, you're either send a self-addressed stamp. I mean, I still have cookbooks. Well, I don't cook, but I have cookbooks. So I can decide what I want Nick to make. Still have cookbooks, but yeah, even then, it's just kind of, you want to make a summer salad. You're like, oh, I need to go to a party. I need to make a summer salad. What should I make? Google summer salad. Scrappy Violet, remember calling for the correct time? Yes, we'd call and the operator would tell you, well, for a while, you'd call and get somebody live and they would tell you what time it was. Now, I think you just get a record. Well, not now. Then after a while, you just get a recording. Yes, Kim Create One. That's another one on my list. And that's the next one I'll add, and then I'll finish this one up later so we can move on. But the next one on my list was, you used to have to go to the encyclopedia. Encyclopedia. Okay. Encyclopedia. I don't know. That was a hard one for me for someone. Encyclopedia or library for information and research, especially in school, right? And now it's like encyclopedia. What's an encyclopedia? The Funkin' Wagnalls, right? Funkin' Wagnalls, isn't that crazy? Encyclopedia or library, and then now it's just what's the internet? Internet for any and all research. So our son Jack, our older son Jack, was always very interested in facts, like very, very, very interested in facts. Mom, how many people live in the state of Washington? Whatever. And I'd be like, I have no idea. And when he was little, we didn't have cell phones, right? When he was little, he's 24 now, but when he was little, we didn't no such thing as a cell phone. So he'd ask all these questions and I'm like, I don't know. And I'd say, I don't know, ask your dad. But now, right, if you want to know what the capital of Timbuktu is, no, that's not a capital. I think Timbuktu is a capital of something. I don't know. If you want to know how many people, I know. You want to know, you're going to the John Mayer concert and you want to know what his set list is, you can go find that out on the internet, right? You don't have to call or find a friend that saw him last year in Minnesota. All right, so there we go. There is that list. I will finish this up later and I will need to add a date. I'm actually going to add the date now. I like to date my lists. I think it's really important that we date our lists. This is basically a time capsule, right? We just told a story here. There were no photos. I could have added photos, right? I could have had a whole bunch of photos. I could have taken a photo, not taken a photo. I could have gone to Google and found a photo of the little Kodak place that you used to drive up to in the parking lot of the grocery store to drop off your little roll of film before drugstores started doing it. I could take a picture of a Netflix logo, not take a picture. I could get a photo off of Google, save it to my hard drive or my phone, and then print it out. But I could have used a lot of photos with this if I wanted, but this one has no photos. So time capsule, memory keeping, whatever, scrapbooking, whatever it is, that's what we're doing, right? We are telling a story. We're just, in this case, telling a story with words and no pictures. But an important part of that story is the date, because it's important to know what today's date is, the 16th, right? 16th. Yes. 16th of April. Holy cow, where is the time gone? 16th of April. There we go. So I'm using a roller date stamp. I have a couple of different roller date stamps on my website. This one is this little wooden guy. So it has a little stand, and it is a little bit of a different date format. More of a, I think, a European or a Canadian or English or whatever it is, as opposed to like the US version. Oh, my stomach is growling. It's hungry. Oh, that's one of our lists. There, so it does the date and then the month and then the year. So this is pretty little, a smaller one. So I think I'm just going to do that right down here in this little area right below. Okay, so sometimes I write the date, sometimes I use a bigger date stamp, sometimes I forget, but I always try to date them. And this one's going to be crooked because that's okay. Oh no, actually it's pretty good. Oh, so cute. All right, there we go. And that list is done for now. But what I do want to do is I want to get it in my book. Yeah, so Diana just brought up a really good point, guys. Diana said it would be fun to do a scrapbook page with photos using the information. Guys, all of the lists that we do, I'm serious, literally every list that we do. Hang on, I need a hydration break. Okay, every list that we do, favorite 80s bands, that could be a scrapbook page, right? If Journey is one of your favorite 80s bands, let's say you went to a Journey concert in the 80s, or maybe you went to a Journey concert last week. Take a photo, or if you don't have a photo because it was back in the 80s, go to Google Journey. You could find the Journey album cover, your favorite Journey album cover, and you could use that as a photo. You could really use any of these photos, concerts, what the artists looked like, their set lists, whatever it is. Maybe you have on your phone, maybe your favorite playlist of your favorite 80s bands. Well, you could have them written here, and over here you could have a screenshot of that playlist. So anything that we do could, Kathy, you did, isn't that funny? Kathy said, I just went to a Journey concert last Saturday. So really anything we do could work in any format, whatever format that you use, whether it's a traveler's notebook, whether it's a scrapbook page, whether it's a single spread, whether it's a double spread, so many different things. When I can't sleep, you could take a picture of the clock, and the clock could say 3:28 a.m. That's a great visual for a list like this. So doesn't have to be like your traditional scrapbooking that we would think of it. Any of our lists can also work as scrapbook. They could work in a mini book. They can work in a traveler's notebook. I mean, I always say too, your list could work in a regular old spiral notebook. You don't have to use, the only thing that you need to list is something to write on and something to write with, right? That is it. Something to write on and something to write with. All the rest of it is just icing. It's just jewelry. So let's go ahead and get this adhered. This paper reminds me of total 80s. I don't know why. I think it's the black with all the rainbow polka dots. All right, let's get that one in there. I'll be so glad when this book is full and I can stitch it back together. But I don't want to stitch it. I don't want to stitch it back together until I'm done. So this one, doesn't that look like a crafting mat? That is so fun. It's a good grid. Just a great grid background, but also looks like a little crafting mat. All righty, next list. We're ready for the next list. The next two lists are not our, are single pagers. So they should go pretty quickly. All right. That's a fun one. I like it. I like it. I like it. If you are not a big stamper and you don't have alphabet stamps, that's where that's where your alpha stickers come in handy, right? So alpha stickers work just as well. All right, so list here. The next one is Simple Joys. Simple Joys, so easy, right? Simple Joys. You guys remember the giveaway. When we're done, leave a comment on the video itself, not in the chat. Leave a comment on the video telling me what one of the things would be on your Simple Joys list. Even if you're not listing with us, you've got something in your head that just makes you happy, right? What's something super simple that can make you happy? Okay. Let's see, what was I going to use here? Oh yes, I'm going to use Kit at Heart again, because Kit at Heart's just a good kind of generic, let's see what we got. And I think I will use, okay, I'm going to use this paper as my background. So I think, let me look. Pad again, I've used, oh, we've got all kinds of things. I like that one. I think I want to use that too. Stickers, die cuts. I should know this collection like the back of my hand. I actually do, because I just designed a whole mini book with it. Let's just look. See, when we were talking about stripe, and I was talking about vertical versus horizontal, that's just a bummer because it's a vertical. This is my favorite in there. I've already used that one though. Let's look. 2 sheets each of, I think, 18 different in this one. That could work. This would be cute. Just the rainbow. The rainbow. Rainbow's a little bit more bright and uplifting, isn't it, than that? And because I am getting so deep into my scrapbook, into my traveler's notebook insert, I'm going to do this list off the page as well. Then I'll come back and add it in. It's just going to be a lot easier for me to work with. So I know I need to trim this, and I will trim it to 4 3/4 inches wide. And I do 4 3/4 because it is 8 inches tall, and my insert is 8.25, so I already have a little bit of a white border all the way around. So if I make it 4 3/4, then I've got even border all the way around. Let's round our corner here and round our corner here. Now I pretty much always use, I know rainbow is always so good. Rainbow is always so good for so many different things. Simple joy is when you see a rainbow, right? That's an easy one. Okay, so now I was just thinking, well, I pretty much always use white cardstock. That's just me. I like a lot of white. And if we flip through, you'll see that I use a lot of white. But when you're using a lot of color and a lot of pattern, white will really help ground things. And that also gives a little bit of continuity throughout. And there doesn't need to be continuity throughout my traveler's notebook, but you can see I like white. This was one of the times when I didn't use any white, which, well, I ended up white there. It's shocking. But so I think I'm just going to end up using white again. So I need another piece of white cardstock. And now, if some of you are like, yeah, I really like color. If you don't want to use white, you can always find, hold on, my back is to you, so I'm looking for something. Where would it be? Oh, I don't know. Somewhere in here, I have a whole bunch of colored cardstock. I don't know why, because I never use it. Oh, here we go. Look at all this colored cardstock. So I could use any one of those pieces of colored cardstock as my base and then write my list on that. I just know, and Terry's still here. Terry would agree. Yes, I think Terry's still here. Terry would agree that it's just not me, and then I would not be happy with it. So I use white, but you can use whatever you want. if you are looking for a base to write your list on, right? You do you. You do you. So now what I want to do, I need to kind of be planning about where I want to trim this, because if I trim it like this, we kind of, you see little rainbows, but kind of not. You can kind of tell it's a rainbow, that they're like half rainbows. So when I trim this, I want to get a full row of rainbows up there. So if I trim right there, we're pretty good. That will also give me the full one on this side. And then if I trim it, ooh, about right here, then that should give me maximum rainbow exposure on that piece. So let's see what that ends up being. That ends up being about 3 3/4. So this is kind of a skinnier list, right? It's a skinny mini list. So it's about 3 3/4 by 7. So that will go right about there. And then I have, that's good. I have some rainbow above, some, we can totally see that that's rainbow, right? There's no question now that that's not a rainbow. There's no question now that that is a rainbow. Didn't quite say that right. Okie dokie. So Simple Joys. Let's go ahead. And they look like, you know what? They do look like macaroni when they're cut off, right? And that's, you know what? So sometimes you need to pay attention. That's not straight. You need to pay attention to where you put things, right? Because I would end up with macaronis, colored macaroni. Macaronis. Okay, macaronis is not a word. Macaroni is singular and plural, like deer and moose. Yes, but they do. They look like macaronis. They look like little macaronis. Because they're not spread out like a wide arc rainbow. They're kind of a really tight rainbow. Okay, Simple Joys, Simple Joys, Simple Joys. So in this one, I'm going to use alpha stickers. I'm not going to stamp a title. So let's see. Let's go to the alphas. I could use one of these. All right, we're going to do one of two things here. I'm not sure. I have now brought out all my alpha stickers. Well, not all of, most of my alpha stickers. Terry, step away from the colored cardstock. I know, right? We just know it. It's not me. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not me. All right, so I have loads and loads and loads of, loads and loads and loads of alpha stickers here. I love, you guys know I'm on a kick with the Florence, the Bella Boulevard Florence. I think I have 10 different colors maybe on my website of that. So I think I'm going to use that with that really pretty blue. Now, that really pretty blue also kind of could be like the sky, right? If that's the rainbow, then the blue could kind of be like the sky. So Simple Joys, I can already tell Simple Joys will not fit on one line. So this will be a 2-line title. My ruler. I pulled out my little metal ruler. I use this. There's a couple tools that I use pretty much any time that I am crafting, whether I'm doing my lists or anything. Little ruler is one, especially when it comes to Traveler's Notebook. The fact that this is a shorter ruler is going to make a big difference. A pencil, my Sharpie, my tweezers, little scissors, anyhow. And I think all those things are on my website. All right, so I bring out my ruler. The reason I'm going to do that is I am going to line up my stickers for my title on the line. So I'm using that line right there on the ruler, okay, to make sure everything is even. Now, this font is called Florence. Oh my gosh, every time I say that, I keep remembering. I need to email Stephanie. Stephanie owns Bella Boulevard. But actually, Stephanie's used to own Bella, golly, it's a mouthful. Stephanie used to own Bella Boulevard. Doodlebug now owns Bella Boulevard. But Stephanie is still the designer behind Bella Boulevard and is a friend of mine. I need to email Stephanie and ask her if where the Florence name, where she came up with the Florence name for these stickers, because it reminds me of the Brady Bunch. And then we've just talked about that, if it's Florence Henderson, if that's kind of where that came about. So it is a super whimsical font. I can actually stagger those letters if I want, because it definitely, the font itself lends itself to that. So simple. And then I am going to kind of lined up. That's one of the reasons I use the rulers, to help line things up. But the other reason now is that I can take the ruler and slide it onto wherever I'm going to put my title on, and look it. I can decide wherever I want it. Do I want it here? Do I want it here? Do I want it in the center? What's the center? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So usually, if we're not using a ruler to do this, we count how many letters are there. Oh, hi, honey. How's the golfing? I didn't see him pop on, but I see you guys saying, hi, Nick, hi, Nick, hi, Nick. What is that store? Oh, Wanda. So Wanda just asked a question, and let's talk about that for a second. I use all different kinds of things to store my stuff, right? You guys have seen me use these envelopes, these plastic clear envelope pouches that I put collections in. This is a storage piece from scrapbook.com. And so it is tiered, and there are 3 sections. This is tall enough, or I should say it's not too tall, that it fits in the Ikea Expedit Kallyx that a lot of crafters have, those units. I, in the description box of the video, always have links to all the storage things I use. So you can find the link to that, Wanda, in the description box of the video, and also the pouches and the little thing that holds my little tools and all of those things. All right, so now I can move that around to decide where I want my title to go. Maybe if this is a 2-page list, do I want simple to go here and joy to be on the other side? Every once in a while we get a little crazy and we do our title up the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Sorry, that's the left-hand side. Where do I get those packages? These? You mean those, Kay? Amazon. They're linked in the description box of the video. All right, but this one I want to be centered. So I figure out where center. Oh, I know what I was saying. Squirrel. Normally, if we're not doing something like this and we want our title to be centered, we have to count how many letters, 6 letters, and then we have to figure out where the middle is and then start in the middle and go backwards, right? The only problem with that is some of our letters are much wider than others. Like if we count 3 and 3 and start in the middle, well, the I is super skinny and the P and the M are wider. So doing this just gets it where you want it. Easy, simple. So now I just press down and gently release, and there you go. And I made it crooked like that because I wanted it to be crooked because it's kind of part of the look of the font. Now let's come back in and dot our I. Simple. Now we need to do joys. Okay, same thing. We're going to do the same thing. I also, especially when you're working with stickers, depending on the size of the sticker, sometimes the sticker is really small and it's hard to kind of get your fingers in there, especially then if you're trying to place it. So tweezers make it a little bit easier. But the other thing is, like that little J, if I'm picking that up with my fingers, there's not much adhesive on that because it's a really thin sticker. I mean, it's narrow. So I'm going to lose a lot of the adhesive and then it might pop off later. So tweezers. Tweezers are my thing. And these are reverse grip, meaning that regular tweezers you push to close. These you push to open. So you kind of have gravity working with you. With you or against you? I guess it's against you, right? But in a good way against you. All right. Simple joys. Okay, and then this little guy will go right here. Simple joys, just cute, right? This will be a cute, simple list. Not all of our lists, and just wherever the wind blows, right? Wherever the wind blows, wherever the wind takes you. That's going to be a cliche that I totally just butchered. Let's see. Hold on, Terry. Headed to the newest Harry Potter movie. Have fun, enjoy, and happy Easter. Thanks, Terry. Wanda said she's still working on it, having a hard time getting them to come off the ruler altogether. Maybe don't go as far down on the ruler. You may be going too far down on the ruler. So I usually just have a little bit on the ruler, and then most of it is off the ruler, so it's pretty easy to roll it. All right, Simple Joys. Oh, what was I just thinking? I was just thinking something. I don't know. All right. I will do another little, yeah, I'm going to do just a little separator here again. Oh, okay. Wherever the wind takes us, right? I think that's what I was saying. Wherever the wind takes us. When it comes to your, oh, that's a little odd. It's kind of skinny. Oh, well, it's fine. When it comes to your lists, you can take as much time or as little time as you want, right? But part of it for me is, remember when I said, I am a crafter. I've been a crafter my whole life, going back to like when I was in second grade and my mom signed me up for art classes in the summer when we lived in Texas. And I made the little Dove soap thing that you'd put the hat pins with all the little weird little beads in. And I've always loved crafting. So this for me is as much as documenting and memory keeping as it is play, right? If I take an hour on a list or 2 hours on a list, I'm okay because I'm enjoying the process. I'm playing, I'm stamping and playing with different things and using washi and all different kinds of things. So if I take a long time on a list, for me, it's okay because it's just, I'm crafting. There it is. But sometimes it could just be super simple, easy, plain list, and we're good. All right, Simple Joys. I know that I think we might need something to go right there. So let's look. Oh, just reminded me though. There was a sticker. There was a sticker that I wanted to use from the sticker book. Aha, this one. I want to use, I think, this. Or, all right, let's look. This is one of my new washis. It works really well, but you know what? Too much rainbow. There's just too much rainbow stripe going on. So I won't use that. I could use same color palette. Let's try these two. Outlined hearts. Another, ooh, one of my new washis. That would work, right? Cute, but too much. I think too much. Probably too much because the size of those hearts is just about the same size as the little rainbows, and I need a little bit of different maybe variation. So let's see about the little hearts. Yeah, no. All right, so then we're going to go to, I think this scallop sticker. So this scallop sticker is from the sticker book. The sticker book from Kit at Heart, linked in the description. So rainbow color spectrum, right? Rainbow spectrum. If we go the other way, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And then this rainbow follows that. It just happens to end with a green. But the rainbow side, much prefer this color palette of the rainbow than I do this. I mean, I like the purple's just not my thing. So when I look at where I want this to end, I think I will end right here at the green. So let's just cut right here in between. We'll cut right there. And I can use this for something else, right? Look you can tell I did the same thing with that other sticker. It said hello a bunch of times, but also in the rainbow colors. So did the same thing. All right, now let's look because this is cut off. And I can also, there's just a little bit of extra here. Let's set that up just a little bit more. Let's have a little bit more white. I think the guys are done. What time is it? I think they've been done for a while. So I'm going to open the window again real quick. Okay, there we go. So I just want to, there's a little bit of extra that I want to trim off. So now they're both trimmed a little bit. Oh, just cute, right? How can you not be happy with those rainbow colors? They're just so happy. It's perfect for a Simple Joys page. All right. Come on, cool air. Come on, cool air. Let's go. Okay. Puffy stickers. Let's see. Oh, well, if we have the rainbow and we have if we have the rainbow and we have the clouds, the sky, we might as well add the sun, right? Cute, puffy. So let's talk about what we see, and you see this a lot in American craft collections. So Kit at Heart, this is an American craft collection. They actually have 3 different types of stickers that they do in a collection. And you might think, well, that's a lot. Why do I need 3 different stickers? Well, let's look. 6 by 12 stickers, scale, much bigger, right? If I wanted to put a sun on here and I didn't have my little puffies, well, that sun is giant. I mean, I guess I could make it work, but it's giant. It's way bigger than I want. So scale, having smaller, and then the puffy's kind of fun too because texture. Then you have the sticker book. So the sticker books generally, and it depends on the artist or the designer, like Vicky would have way different things in her sticker books than Heidi would, than Pebbles does. So the Pebbles ones and also the Jen Hadfield ones tend to have some more like sentiments on them. So if you're a card maker, they work great for things like that. Also titles, right? So there's some really good titles like that. Today I choose to be happy. Some word strips you don't see in some of the other ones. So that is why sometimes you'll see a manufacturer do 1, 2, 3 even different types of stickers because good for different purposes. The other thing is, especially on a little list like this, if I want to have one of our little cute little characters, well, those are bigger. These in the sticker book, look at how much smaller they are. So if I wanted to use like this little cat, the cat carrying flowers, there is also a cat carrying flowers die cut. But the cat carrying flowers die cut is probably about that big, so too big. I can come in here and just get that little guy. Oh, dog carrying flowers, similar, right? I'm gonna get this little cat carrying flowers because that's a simple joy, right? As long as you're not allergic to cats. Simple joy is a cat carrying flowers. Do-do-do. Look at it, just so cute, right? It's just so cute. Okay, there we go. One thing I just remembered in my last list that I was going to do that I didn't do because I didn't have enough room. But I had talked about using these guys. These were just on my cart over to the side, so I just saw them. These Happy Hearts Alpha stickers. Sometimes it's fun to either stamp a title and then stamp a smaller title. But again, if you don't have alpha stamps or even smaller alpha stamps, something like that, those little guys, I mean, you have lots and lots of stickers that would work. What I was going to do, I had thought about using some little stickers to call out some words in my list, but then I just didn't have enough room. So those Happy Heart stickers work really well with the color palette of Let's Get Crafty. Then what I was going to do, I'll see if this will work. Because there's something else that I haven't used yet that I keep seeing and I'm like, I want to use this. Also Happy Heart. So these are those, Happy Heart is from Pink Fresh. This, I love this package of die cuts because, let me get these things out of the way. Look at this. Look at all of those good words and titles. And whether you're scrapbooker, making lists, mini books, whatever, but look at all of those. Aren't those awesome for just good titles? So I was thinking, well, you know what? If I was doing a 2-page list, now that I've done all these other things, we might be too small here. Sun, the reason sun, there are a couple things on my list related to sun. That's why I was thinking the sun-kissed, but no, cute doesn't really work. Anyhow, I think if I was doing a 2-page list with this, I'd have some room. Yeah. Okay. Off. We'll get those. We'll get to those maybe next week. Okay. So let's do our list. I think what I would like to do, I think we're going to pull out the orange for our bullets because carved pumpkin might be a little bit too dark. I might need spiced marmalade, I want to say. Oh, yeah. I think carved pumpkin is going to be a little bit, yeah, carved pumpkin is a little bit too bright. So spiced marmalade, it's funny. I start to, I love using the oxide inks. And so, you start to get to know, you can kind of, and I know some of you, as I'm listing, you'll be like, oh, no, try speckled egg. We start to get to know like the difference between one and the other, right? Just the colors and what will work. So we're going to go with spiced marmalade. This is going to be a run-on list for me, okay? A run-on list. So what I mean by a run-on list, I mean, instead of a bulleted list, even though I'm still going to use bullets, this is a bulleted list. A run-on list would be something like this, where I'm just listing and then I'm using one of the little bullet stamps to separate each of the items on those lists. That's kind of my fallback. If I have a lot of things on a list, then I'll do a run-on list as opposed to a bulleted list. So I'm going to do a run-on list. And I will use one of these guys again. Okay, so I could use, I don't know, this one just might be too literal. Oh, I know what I did not do. I'm not putting things away right now, you guys, which is not good because, oh, we're still okay there. With these little bullet stamps, you want to make sure to get them put away right away because they're so small, they will escape. Here's another little tip, and I need to do it right now with that little guy. One of you, I don't remember, one of you told me about this. Hi, okay. Cartini Rumerman. Welcome from the Netherlands. Hi there. Okay, so after a while, your stamps on the back will stop sticking. And they're not supposed to be sticky, right? They're not supposed to be sticky, but you just need them to stick to your stamping block or your stylus or whatever you're using. The reason they stop getting sticky is because they get lint and I guess just lint, really. Lint gets built up on them. You may not be able to see it, but lint gets built up. Lint gets built up. So if you take rubbing alcohol or you take a little bit of water on a damp cloth, I just here, because it's in my craft room, I just have a bottle of rubbing alcohol that I just put in a baggie with a little cloth so that when that happens, I can just, now you got to be careful, right? We're working with paper. We don't want to spill that. So I'm going to put that lid right back on top like that and just wipe off the back of that. Rubbing alcohol or water will work, either one, but I just did rubbing alcohol. So we need that to dry. And then it will stick it back to its stickiness. It'll stick on the sheet and it will stick on our stamping block or our stylus or whatever we're using to stamp. So whoever told me that a while back, thank you. That was a great tip. And then that just sits in one of my little drawers behind me. So it's right where I need it. Okay, so what I think I'm going to try is, I don't know, it may be too literal, but one of those little bullet stamps is a little sun. So let's look and see what this would look like. Where is our, yeah, here we go. You know what, and this just kind of occurred to me because as we look at, I really use a lot of different types of styles of product, right? So this one, way more vintagey, that's Maggie Holmes. Just more graphic, that's a Simple Stories. This one also graphic, Simple Stories. You can tell I like the rainbows and the suns this time of year. This one way more vintagey, but in a different vintage. That is Simple Vintage Indigo Garden. What I like about doing my listing in a traveler's notebook like this is that it doesn't matter. This one's vintagey. I can move from vintagey to a frog that's listening to music, right? It gives you the opportunity to just play with different things and you don't really have to worry if there's any continuity, right? Sometimes I could even do like a vintage here next to the really fun, whimsical graphic on the other side. So what made me just think of that, but all right. This is the sun. Let's see what we get. Get that nice and inked up. Let's go down here. All right. Now the sun is orange. So let's see what that might look like on our list. Let's off to the side for a sec. Are we gonna like it? I don't know, maybe not in the orange. Is it too weird in the orange? Because then it's like it's an orange sun. So if I want to use the orange, maybe I go to yellow. Maybe I'll just go to the yellow because then it's really more like a sun. It's not like, what is that weird thing with spokes on it? What is that weird thing with spokes that's orange? All right, so then let's jump to a yellow. I happen to have squeezed lemonade right here. Let's look. I think that might be too bright. Yeah, we want mustard seed. So I just go to my little drawer back here and grab mustard seed, and mustard seed will be really easy for me to find because I have, that's just one of the trays. Everything is organized here. It's stacked here in the same order that it's on my swatch, my little swatch ring. So it makes it really, really, really easy for me to find the color I'm looking for. So much of what we do, you guys, is about organization, right? Is knowing where your things are. And it's organizing and reorganizing and reorganizing. I don't know, that's something that just seems to go with our hobby, right? We like to organize and reorganize, and that's just part of the fun. Oh yes, much better. Much better as a sun, right? Look it doesn't look like a weird spoke thing there. 2020. Right, 820, right? Hi, Sheila. All right, so here we go. We're getting ready for our run-on list. Oh, cute. Okay. Let's put those out of the way. Where's my list? Way too many things here. Way too many things. All right. First on my list is, and these are in no particular order, fresh flowers. Fresh flowers, simple joy, right? Fresh flowers make me happy. My husband knows that. Nick knows that. And our grocery store has really good fresh flowers. And they're not inexpensive. I won't say cheap, they're not expensive, which means he knows how much I like fresh flowers. So he also goes to the grocery store. I get distracted when you guys won't be surprised about this, squirrel. I get distracted when I go to the grocery store and I come back with, I just go up and down the aisles and I just buy all the things. And I get home and Nick is like, what in the heck did you do? Anyhow, he's like, what is all this stuff? You know, it's only the two of us. I'm like, I know, but it looks good. I thought this would be fun. This would be fun. This would be. He does all the shopping, and the cooking. I'm very lucky. So he knows that I enjoy fresh flowers and they're not expensive. And so there we go. He can spend $5 on a thing of flowers and then it just makes me happy. So fresh flowers, simple joys. Hot coffee. Now, not like burn your tongue off Sue McDonald's type of coffee. Hot coffee. I love hot coffee. The first sip of a really nice, good cup of hot coffee is just so good. Simple joy, right? That doesn't cost, it doesn't cost anything. I mean, you've got to make the coffee, and pay for the coffee, but really doesn't cost anything. Here's another one. Another liquid. First sip of wine. I like my wine. And the first sip of wine is something just so good about it. Next up, a baby's laugh or a baby laughing, right? Oh my gosh, a baby laughing. That, if you are like scrolling on Instagram or something and then you hear a baby laughing, it just, I don't know, how do you not like smile when you hear it? And it's that like really deep, like guttural, just like only a little baby can do. Laugh, so good, or a little kid laughing. Yes, Julie, that's also on my list, fresh sheets on my bed. So as we're doing this, you guys, even whether or not you are listing with me, tell me, in the chat, if you're live, tell me what's one of your simple joys. Remember, this is giveaway. So once we're done today, go back to the video, leave a comment on the video, not in the chat, telling me one of the things that would be on your simple joys list, and I'll draw. I haven't said what the prize is yet. I'll draw one random lucky winner from one of those comments next week to win the Bullets and More stamp set and the stylus. All right. Okay. So yes, I'm curious. What's on your list? Fresh flowers, hot coffee, first sip of wine, baby's laughed. Okay. Next one, a good book. Oh, good book. And it could be library, right? It could be library book, so it doesn't even have to cost you anything. A good book. Love a good book. My problem is I used to be an avid reader, like I'm kind of a speed reader. I can read pretty quickly. And I love to read and I never read because I always have some other work to do. But when we were on a trip to Nashville, I read two books, and two books that was pretty much on the airplanes going there and coming home. But I wasn't quite done with I started one of the books when we were at the airport in Nashville and was almost done when we got home. And so I stayed up really late to finish it. That's my problem is I get involved in a book and then I don't want to put it down. So, but anyhow, Simple Joy is a good book. You know what else just makes me happy? Simple Joy, dancing. I love to dance. I am not a good dancer. Doesn't mean I can't get pleasure out of dancing. A puppy. Puppies. I say puppies because my friend Karen and Carrie, they have a new golden, so cute. What were the two books? Last thing he told me, last thing he said, last thing he told me. I think. I'll have to look, Celia. I'll look and I'll put it in the Facebook group. Are you in the Facebook group? If you're not in the Lail by Mail Facebook group, friends, join it. And all you have to do to join is just go find it on Facebook and say, let me in, and then I'll let you in. But lots of people there sharing lists, sharing really funny squirrel memes, and it's fun. But yes, send me, I will put it in the Facebook group. One is, I think it's called Last Thing He Told Me. Yes, Susan. Hi, Susan. Yes, Last Thing He Told Me is really good. And now, you know what's funny? What was the other book I read? Oh, one of the newer Jodi Picoult ones. I can't remember what it's called, but hers always like from the first page, just suck me in and then I can't put it down. So I will, I'll link both of them in the Facebook group. Okay, puppies, yes. And they have the cutest puppy, and we saw her again last night. Her name is Nora. All right, here's one. Social media break. I took a pretty good sized social media break. I wasn't necessarily intending to. I figured out yesterday on Instagram, I hadn't posted on Instagram for like 10 days, which social media is a blessing and a curse. I feel like I have to be a slave to it. And anyhow, so it was nice to take a break, even an unintended one. Music. I love music. That's one of the reasons why we did Nashville, or, stayed in Nashville, because, love music, live music. So good. Oh, Marilee, I love that. Look at when my first graders get the lesson. Getting 24, I get it, is the best feeling. Oh my gosh, Marilee, I'm sure it is. That's just got to be so rewarding, right? It's got to be so rewarding. Singing to the radio in the car. Yes, for sure. Singing, yep, just singing. And you don't care. No one can hear you, or even if they can, you don't really care. Next one, a hot shower. Nothing like a hot shower. Now, I know that sounds funny because I say I have hot flashes all the time. So the start of a hot shower, how about that? Wanda said, when my granddaughter says, Nana, I love hanging out with you. We should do this more often. Oh my gosh. Wanda, how old is she? That's got to has got to just make your heart go pitter patter. I can't even imagine. Cannot even imagine. Here's another one. And this is, when you think about this, a compliment. And you know what? That could be giving or receiving, right? Giving or receiving. Receiving a compliment. Doesn't a compliment make you feel good? She's 10. I love it. That's like that age where they just love you. They just want to be with you. And that's so wonderful. But a compliment. when someone pays you a compliment, it just, you know, you're just like, oh, it's just so nice. But also when you pay someone else a compliment and when you see how they react, it's just both ways. It's good, giving and receiving a compliment. Another one, hugs. Hugs. That's a really good one. Hugs. Assuming you like hugs. If you don't like hugs, then maybe that's not it's on your simple joys list. We could do a simple hates list. Although we've done a love and hate list too. Hugs. Watching the sunset. A fresh towel, right? Fresh towel. And then we might as well say, and fresh sheets, because I have both of those on my list. Fresh towel, fresh sheets, anything fresh, right? Fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. Okay. Clean kitchen. Now, really a clean house, but a clean kitchen, right? A clean kitchen. What else, you guys? Oh, seeing your garden grow. I like that. And that's a good one. Bridget says, when my kids give me a hug, my son is 14 and my daughter is 20, and I love it. They still hug me. Yes, for sure, right? Mindy says, yes. When Abaya, your granddaughter, says, Mimi, you're my best friend, even though she's told everyone that. I love it, right? I love it. Wanda, towels from the dryer. You know what's funny? When I was looking at my list and I wrote fresh towel, towel fresh out of the dryer. That's what I meant to say, because it's really when it's right out of the dryer and it's warm, right? A clean kitchen, fresh sheets, the rain. I love the rain. It's just now I don't live in Seattle, so if I lived in Seattle, I might not like the rain, but I like the rain. I'm going to put one there just because there's a blank, and I'll put one here too. Let's see. The first snow. Only the first one. Although the first snow and snow on Christmas, that's another one. Ooh, a new eraser. That's a good one. Bubble bath. Ah, nice. Marilee, when my oldest is home from college, hearing my daughter's chit-chatting, laughing, right? Laughter, for sure. As long as it's not at you. A smell of fresh cut grass. Yes. Also on my list, Scrappy Violet. For sure. Look at all these things that can just give us simple joy. Smell of fresh cut grass. This is another one of those lists this is kind of a good conversation starter. This is like, sometimes I'll call our list topics like a dinner conversation. So if you regularly have dinner with people or friends or your family or whatever, and pull one of these lists out mentally and say, hey, what are some of your favorite cliches? Or what's one of your favorite bands from the 80s? Or what's one of your simple joys? It's just kind of fun, like, conversation starter. Oh, you knew this one had to come, you guys. Of course you knew this one had to come. I mean, really? Checking things off your to-do list, right? So much so that you add things you've already done to your to-do list just so you can check them off. Checking things off your to-do list, right? You got to add them. Adam, there's a little, it's proven fact. There's a little endorphin that goes off in your brain when you check something off. It's, oh, gotcha. I got it, Colleen. Thank you. Angel time. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my angel time. Thank you. But yes, yes, you accomplish something. You've got a list of things to do. You check it off and off you go. Speaking of that, this could actually, I mean, really, all of your bullets and the bullet stamps could be for a to-do list. You can check them off. Like, look at this. Our little sun here. I can have my to-do list, and then there it is. And when I'm done, there you go. All right, almost done. Crunchy leaves. Like, do you ever go on a walk and you see leaves and then you start looking for the crunchy ones so you can step on them because you like the sound? I love crunchy leaves. Love the crunchy leaves. All right, I need to leave a little bit of room down here for something. So let's see what we get. Other things on my list. I had looking at old photos, decluttering. I'm having the sunroof open in my car. The smell of fresh cut grass. No commercials. Oh, social media break. That's funny. I enjoyed that so much that I had that on my list twice. Did I get, oh, I got Fresh cut grass. Okay, one more. I'm going to say no commercials, right? When you're watching something, especially if you're streaming it and you have no commercials, it's just lovely. When we watch This Is Us, it just skips right over the commercials. All right, so I left a little bit of space here because I want to do something down there at the bottom just to kind of like finish it off, draw our eye down to the bottom. So I am going to use a combination of two of my favorite things. One would be label stickers. The other would be the word strip stickers. So let's start out with label sticker. Let's see what, okay, put that down a minute. Let's start out with a label sticker. Label stickers. So label stickers, I have all different kinds on my website. These are newer. These are from Ellie's Studio, and they are, they come in different colors, but some larger ones, and then on the back side, smaller ones. So 2 5x7 sheets. So we could use one of those. Then we also have all of these punch outs, and these punch outs are from Pretty Little Studios. So just really good color palette and things. But I think right now that's too long. So I won't use those, although I also have these. These are also from Pretty Little Studios. So these are stickers, a little bit smaller. So let's look. Maybe it's something like that. I don't want to do a yellow. I know I don't want to do a yellow. So I could do a blue. I could pull in that navy maybe. I don't think so because we already have the blue there. I think we might do this pink. Because if I put this right here, all right, now that I see that, I know that that is too skinny. That is too thin. I need it to just go over the top of this a little bit more. So it's just a little bit too skinny. Do you guys see that? It's not tall enough. So I could go now to this guy. Let's try this one. Get my tweezers. Oh, hanging out at the thrift store. Yes, fresh mani-pedi for sure. A homemade meal. Oh, yeah, Sheila. As long as I don't have to cook it, although I don't because I don't cook. All right, so that could go there. But I think it still maybe needs to be a little bit. All right, let's put that back. I'm going to put a word strip sticker on the label. So let's go back to these real quick and see what one of those, because these are a little bit taller height-wise. Pink. We'll do a pink, I think. Pink, I think. I don't know. This is probably way too big now. Oh, yeah, way too big. Look at that. It covers everything up. Too big. So let's look at one of these. Maybe this guy is what I need. I don't know. It's just not really, it's not really happening there, friends. So this is what I think. I don't think I'm going to have a label there anymore because it's just not really happening. I didn't like this guy either, right? Yeah, no, too much. Okay, so we're going to skip the labels and we're going to go straight to the word strips. Straight to the word strip stickers. When in doubt, add a word strip. When you've got an extra space, add a word strip. So move this out of the way and let's grab word strips. So this, lots and lots and lots of word strip stickers. Let's start here, small talk, and see. I think I need white. Throw kindness around like confetti. Everything is beauty. Be open to whatever can, focus on what's important. Start doing things you love. You know what? That could work, right? I mean, all of those things, simple joys, right? If all those things make me happy, well, I need to figure out how to get more of those things in my life then, right? It's up to us to make those things happen. So let's see if we just put this guy right here, start doing things you love. Oh yeah, see, look, there we go. I could have continued my list right there, but then that just would have been super heavy. I need a little bit of breathing room, but then it's really blank. So there we go. See, when in doubt, add a word strip. Ta-da! All right, it is good to go. I will add just a little tiny date here. So I'm gonna say 4.22. Okay, there we go. Simple joys. These are the things that make me happy now. Now, I guarantee you, This is one of those lists, time capsule, right? Because if I had done this list when I was 20, probably the things on my list would be very different when I was 20 versus now. Or if I had Nick do this list, I'm sure there might be a few things like Nick likes dancing. Nick likes music. We like listening to music and live music. But there are other things that would be on his list that would never be on mine. And with our boys too, right? 21 and 21 and 24. They would have very different things on their list than on my list. So, good time capsule type list. Whoopsie. And here we go. Kit at Heart, that is what we've been using. And Kit at Heart is just a good, like generic, right? Generic for whatever kind of list. So that was Kit at Heart. Kit at Heart, Kit at Heart, Kit at Heart. Just fun, good. Sometimes we just need like generic collections, generic product that will work for all different kinds of lists. So there we go. Simple Joys. All righty. Oh, Karen, we'll see ya. All right. We'll get started on one more. Okay. A clean house. Yes, a clean house. Simple Joy for sure. Oh, Colleen, watching your favorite team come from way behind to win the game, right? Yes, for sure. Starting a new page on your notebook. Oh, look at your pretty, Noelia. Is that, how do you say that? Noelia Cardarelli. Noelia Cardarelli. Are you Italian, Noelia? I bet. That's a beautiful name. Okay. I don't even know. Oh, yes, I know. The reason I said that was I saw your comment a minute ago and it said starting a new page on your notebook. And I'm like, you're starting a new page on my notebook? Like, what notebook? What are you talking about? And then I'm like, oh, I get it. One of your Simple Joys. Oh, you're from Argentina. Lovely, Argentina. Okay. Oh, yes. No, there is nothing like a brand new fresh notebook and starting fresh. I agree. Okay. Our third list for today. Let me just get some of this stuff put away. Our third list is you know you're hungry when, right? You know you're hungry when. So it's kind of just a fun, one of those silly lists. Well, I don't know, it may not be silly. Maybe you are diabetic and you know you're hungry when you're about ready to fall over because your blood sugar's so low. That's not funny. So just kind of a, whatever list. So I think what I'm going to use for this, I had pulled out Life Right Now. It is one of the Pink Fresh collections. I have a couple different Pink Fresh collections on my website. I have not, up until, earlier today when I opened up, okay, I have an idea. When I opened up this 12 by 12 paper pack, I had, oh, that's fun, but that's totally different. Your scrapbooker, how fun would this be? You kind of put photo over here and then find your green embellishments and put them there and some pink there and yellow there. And ooh, that's a really fun. These are fun because just fussy cut those. We could use those on our list too. But I just had an idea because I have not looked at this at all. Oh, look at that. All right. This is going to be the base of our list because look at, like, it's all like little cute, fun kitchen. Look at the vegetables and things. That'll be fun. All right. This is going to go on this side. It's going to go on this side, even though they have nothing to do with each other. Before I get too far, let me just look. Oh, that's cute. Those would be cute little labels. I like this one. Blah, blah, blah. Today, it's not all good. It's not bad. I wish so much that Pink Fresh did 6 by 8, but they don't. So we'll use 12 by 12. All right. Oh, there was one thing. There was something orange I saw. Where did it go? That I thought, ooh, that could be fun to cut out. Hold on, hold on. Oh, yes, this one. Okay, let me keep this out too. Off to the side on the floor. Okay, now let me look at the There's now stuff everywhere. This won't get cleaned up until tomorrow. We have Nick's family thing this afternoon, and then we're going over to neighbors tonight. She is making pizza on the Traeger. All right, so then we have some stickers. Oh, where's the die cuts? Here we go. Okay, so stickers, puffy stickers. Ooh, ice cream solves everything. That could be fun to put on there too. Oh yes, look at. Okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do. We have this pink, red, and orange theme going. So we're going to make that all work together. Pink, red, and orange. So base of my list, I am going to make that 8 by 4.75 as soon as I find my trimmer. Pink Fresh. The Pink Fresh collections usually are super like graphic. And you know what I mean? When I like this, to me, like super graphic, not as like icon intensive, which is fun because they work for our list right now, but I will always keep my Pink Fresh stuff kind of at the ready because it can be worked into so many other different things. Like, look how fun that would be. Chill vibes on like your playlist or favorite bands or favorite hits. Oh, that would have been perfect. We're going to have to do something with that. I'm getting sidetracked. Surprise, surprise. Uh-oh. I need to put that away. See, that's why you got to put them away because you'll lose them. Later, I'll be like, what happened to that sun bullet stamp? All right, 8 by... Actually, we'll go this way. 4 3/4. So we'll do that. This reminds me, I don't know, the color palette reminds me a little bit of like the 50s. You guys think? Doesn't it kind of remind you a little bit of the 50s? So we've got 4 3/4 by 8. And that is what I want to have for the base of my little list. Okay, it's a right-facing list, so we will round the corners. Now, we could do a little play on words, right? This list could be called, you know, you're hangry when, you know, hangry, like hungry and angry, hangry together. You know you're hangry when, you know you're hungry when. All right, this is going to be a speed list. So we need a little bit of this. Let's go 4. Let's try 4. So if I'm doing 3/4 of an inch, I'm doing math in my head. If we're doing 3/4 of an inch less there, and that's 8, 7 1/4. 4 by 7 1/4. If I did the math correctly in my head, I should have an even border all the way around. Aha. All right. So now that I see that, I want to see a little bit more of that pink behind. So let's make it a little bit more narrow. Yes, the 50s, right? Cindy, yes, this one is called Life Right Now. It's from Pink Fresh. It is on the website. So if you go and then just search for Life Right Now, or it is linked in the description box of the video down below. Let's take another 1/4 inch, I think, off of one side and see what we get there. I think that may just give us a little bit more of that fun pattern to see. Oh yes, right? So, and that's fun because we can kind of get this little bit of a feel for kind of kitchen-y theme. So that is good. Now, just because my list has to do with food doesn't mean that I have to use paper that has food on it, right? It spoke to me. So you can use whatever you want if you're doing this list. Cindy, I got distracted. So this brings up a good point. So Cindy said, I got distracted placing another order. You guys know that you can always add to an order. If you have placed an order and it hasn't shipped yet, and you know it's shipped when you get an email confirmation, or you get an email with shipping confirmation and tracking number, then you know it's shipped. Then it's too late to add. But you haven't received that yet, you can always email me and say, hey, you can either go to the website and click on contact us, or you can layallbymail@gmail.com and say, hey, I need to add to my order. And then just let me know what you want to add. And I can do it on the back end. That way I can add to your existing order and then you only pay shipping once. So then it's just a lot easier. I mean, you can always add to an order and we can figure out how to ship them together. As long as you tell me. If I don't know that you have 2 orders, then I don't know. And then they, most of the time would ship separately unless I happen to stumble on it and go, oh, but anymore, there's just too many orders. So that is really hard to do. So yes, you can always add to an order if you need. If something sparks your fancy, strikes your eye, I don't know, something like that, right? All right, so this I thought was fun. I like it because it is orange. I like orange. And then it has the red and the pink in it. So that will help to break up all of that just red and pink that we have going in the background, right? So somehow we'll figure out how to work that in. Here's a little tip. That's a little ticket, right? So there's like notches on the top and the bottom. Not nachos, although nachos would be good right now. Notches. That's like the plural of nachos. Notches. Little notches at the top. You can take your little hole punch and just punch those little guys out like a half circle, right? There's my little half circle. Ta-da! Okay, so this will go here. You know what's fun? This is a good spot for a date, right? This is a good spot for a date. So if I wanted to say April 2022. Okay, and that's my little date. That will go there. And then we need a title. So let's see. If the main focus is hungry, right? The main focus on this is hungry. You know you're hungry when? Maybe we need some orange. That would work, right? Maybe. I mean, it would work. For sure would work. There's no doubt it would work. I know, well, I don't think I'll have a red that works because it's a little bit of a different red. Because then I think the Doodlebug red, I think is too red. Yeah, see, the Doodlebug red's too red. This is kind of a good red. We might end up with the Florence again. No one cares if I use Florence again, right? Amazon's here. Here's another thing, you guys. As I am flipping through, you couldn't see what I was doing there on the side. As I am flipping through all of my stickers here, do you see how they're organized in rainbow order? That same Roy G. Biv. So my stickers are organized by color that way. My stamp, my inks are organized that way. Anything, if you spend a little bit of time into your organizing like that, it makes it a lot easier than when I'm looking for kind of a reddish pink. I'm not looking through every single one of my stickers to try to find that reddish pink. I just go right to the pink red section and there you go. So this is going to say hungry. I don't use red often. Hungry. Where's my, I'm hungry. I am hungry. You know you're hungry when. This is a good list for right now because I'm hungry. Okay, where'd my ruler go? Did I put it away? Nope. Well, we might have to do this one without a ruler because I keep seeing things. I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to use those trinkets. Oh, those trinkets will get used on the first list. Okay, well, I don't know what I do with my ruler, so we're just going to have to wing it. We're going H-U-N-G-R-Y. So we've got 6 H-U-N-G-R-Y. They're probably all about the same width. So what I need to do here, though, is I know I'm going to say, you know you're hungry when. Ooh. Although, this is what I'm going to do. Because I can't really do, you know you're then hungry and then when. It's just like floating out there by itself. So this is what I'm going to do. We'll spell hungry, H-U-N. And then I'll write the full title below it. Just because it'll be weird otherwise. How do you know you're hungry? Cindy, I love it. Getting boxes from Lael brings me joy. I understand that, you guys, because I get the joy when all the product comes in. Believe me, because it's okay. All of those are going into the store website, and then one of those comes to me because I have to have one of everything. Well, not everything, but I mean, I use it, right? Oh, interesting. So this is an example when I'm a little not, yeah, this is why, here's a prime example, friends, of why you, hungry. This is the prime example of why the ruler works out really well, because I'm not going to be quite even and it's going to bug me. See that? Look at, I can't do that. It's going to bug me. I would have, if I had just found my ruler, then I would not be having to move all these guys. Oh, that's too far over. It just was going to bug me. And I think what we'll do is maybe stagger these a little bit. Okay. Hungry. You know you're hungry when. Okay. So that I'm going to write. I got to think about it. You know you're hungry when. Okay, a little bit, not quite even, but that's okay. All right, so this is going to go here. You know you're hungry when. Where's my list? Where is my list? All right, so now this is going to be this is going to be a bulleted list. It's not going to be it is not going to be a run-on list because I don't have that many things on my list. Darn ruler. I need it. Where did it go? I need to draw a little separator line. This is the backup one, but I can't use the backup one to do my stickers because it has cork on the back. I think I've got like an eyelash in my eye. So this might look a little weird. I don't know. We'll see. I have my hanger downers. My hanger downers are in the way. You know you're hungry when, right? Okay, that'll work. Because I didn't want to draw a line across all of them. Then that would look weird to me. All right. So I would really like some kind of, I really wish that these were in, okay, am I still here? Okay, I think I'm still here, guys. We lost us for a minute because I moved. Okay, yes, okay. Lost us for a minute because Sam called, which is weird because I put us on Do Not Disturb. So I'm not sure how that got through. I'm not sure how it got through. Yeah, could you guys hear me talk to Sam on my watch? That was bizarre. Anyhow, it is one. Yes, it is one. So you know what we'll do is next week, we'll just start out with this guy. We won't have a lot to do, but we will start out with this guy this week, although really quick because I gotta get. But what I really want to get on here really quick. No audio? You can't hear me now? No audio. Can anyone hear you? Can you hear me? Some of you can hear me. Some of you can't. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right. I'm not sure if you can. Okay, good. All right. I'm going to put this here for now. And we'll put this here. And maybe we'll get this fun little washi here. No. Okay. I'm just going to stop right here because I need to get going. I will secure this because if I don't secure it, I will not find it later. So we'll do this. We'll get that secured. And then I'm going to flip the camera really quick. And actually, let's move this over here like this. And then let's move this over here a little bit. Like so. Ooh, but that's probably gonna bug me. I don't know. We'll just get that down because it's not quite centered, but that's okay. Anyhow, there we go. Okay, guys, we are going to, I'm going to turn off the lights. I am going to flip the camera. Sorry to have to now so abruptly do that, but we have Easter plans with Nick's family. So I am going to rotate the camera, flip the camera. Susan said, I admire your ability to craft. I have lost my mojo. So Susan, have you lost it for a long time, or you mean just like right now, like today? Because I'm really going to talk about this really quick. If you've lost it, if you feel like you've lost it for a long time, just try to do what we're doing. Take a list, take one of the list topics, just grab some of your stuff and just sit down. I think sometimes there's something for me really freeing about making a creative list, because I'm not worried about what photos I'm going to use and what's going to go here and what's going to go there. And it's a smaller space, so I think it's not as intimidating. So I'm just looking to see if you long time like yours. Okay, that's what I had a feeling you meant. Have you tried listing? I want you to try it. I think you'll be surprised. And the only reason I say that is I hear from a lot of people that they had scrapbook or crafted for years and just kind of lost all interest. And then this is different. To me, I don't know. There's something about this. This is different. This is for me personally. That when I'm making a list like this, it's not, the pressure just isn't there, right? The pressure just isn't there. So I think if you can find a list topic that speaks to you, you're like, oh yeah, okay. Things that give me simple joys, even literally if it's taking a spiral notebook and writing those things down, and maybe you're like, oh, I'm going to draw a little doodle here, or I'm going to get some washi and just put it along the bottom. Doesn't have to be fancy, but you kind of still get that little endorphin rush from crafting, but without all the pressure. At least that's the way it is for me. So it makes me sad to hear when people say they've lost their mojo, because I think once a crafter, always a crafter, and there was something that you really drew you to it. You really got a lot of pleasure and satisfaction from it. So, and I'm speaking from me personally. So it's sad. It's hard when you lose that. You feel like you don't have it. So try it. Okay. Try it. Let me know. Send me an email. Go to my website, click contact us, send me an email. And I'm more than happy to chat with you more about it. We can chat back and forth via email, because maybe I have some ideas or something, because it makes me sad when I hear people say that. But I get it. I know, because it happens to everybody. So, okay, you guys. Oh, and Julie said this is like a warm-up that helps inspire me. Right. So we're just kind of doing our little stretching maybe before then you go do something else. Look at Mandy said she feels that. I think there are a lot of people here that feel that. And I think this type of what we do on Saturdays resonates with a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, I want you to get that back. I do. I want that back for you. I want that back for any of us that lose it for a while. Okay, friends. So we will be together again next weekend. Next weekend is the 23rd of April, 2022. We will not be together the 30th of April. Save the date on your calendar. Saturday, May 7th is International Scrapbooking Day. We will be doing an all-dayer again. So we'll be doing some memory keeping. I'll be doing memory keeping in my traveler's notebooks with photos, documenting travel, and all kinds of things like that. We'll be doing some of our creative listing. We'll be doing giveaways and prizes and all kinds of things like that. Today's giveaway is the Bullets and More stamp set. Not this one, a fresh one that you see me use now all the time in my listing. This is probably one of my new stamps I was most excited about, because I think it's so good for what we do. We always need bullets. That and the little stylus. So for that, leave me a comment on the video once it's over, not in the chat. Once the video is over, just pop back in real quick anytime between now and next Saturday morning. Tell me one of the things that would be on your Simple Joys list, even if you weren't listing with us. What's something that is just simple that makes you happy? Yeah. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. If you are celebrating Easter, if you're celebrating Easter, enjoy your Easter, enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you guys next Saturday, hopefully here. The really quick, what I mentioned at the beginning, my 2 new mini book projects started shipping yesterday, so all done. That's what I've been doing all week. Was trying to get those wrapped up, design and write instructions. So those are all ready to go. Started shipping yesterday. We should have all those out probably Wednesday-ish of next week. Those of you that purchased the early summer traveler's notebook kit, watch for an email from me tomorrow with the details for that class, because that will happen before the end of the month. All right, friends, goodbye. Thanks again for joining me today. You guys know how much I treasure my Saturdays. I miss it when we're not together. And I was very excited to be with you guys today. So thank you, and everybody take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.